struggling every day just to hang on. This is America. Together, we can do so much. Will you help? Go to povertyusa.org today and get involved.
How far would you go to help someone? Would you go to the end of your driveway? Would you cross a street? Would you cross an ocean? Would you go if you could use your knowledge to teach someone? And in the process, maybe learn something yourself. Life is calling. How far will you go? Peace Corps.
We all have a vision of that perfect smile. But when it comes to our smile, it's not something we can draw or wait to miraculously appear. We need an orthodontist, dental specialists with 2 to 3 years of specialized education beyond dental school. Your child might be the next Picasso, so trust that brilliant smile to the right hands. Seeing an orthodontist no later than age 7 can help achieve a healthy, beautiful smile. For more information, visit braces.org.
Hey, Barrett!
Look, Timmy's in trouble again.
I told you to stay out of here! Come on, loser!
Someone should do something. Oh, you never see that happen.
If you see abuse or neglect, learn what you can do at BeHumane.org.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gaucho Stadium, home of Narbonne, and here you see they're doing the coin toss on the middle of the field. Tonight's game, it'll be interesting for those of you like us that come from Orange County and used to Southern Section referees. We're going to have City Section referees tonight, and it's been noted in the past that they can be rather interpretive of the rules, so we'll see how the game goes as it's gone along. Some of the Carson games we've played in the past, it's been rather interesting to see how the refereeing's gone, but two good teams tonight. There's going to be a lot of speed on this field. It's going to be a real challenge, Fritz.
Well, and get ready. It's going to be running back by committee. It's going to be wide receiver by committee. There will be a lot of different looks that Narbonne will throw at the Griffins tonight. You mentioned in the opening that the defense last week against La Habra was very instrumental in that victory. This defense is really going to have to play tight tonight, and they are going to have to be flexible with all that speed.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why I said, you know, you're going to see a couple guys that normally play offensive positions only. Richardson and Jenkins, you'll see them rotating in at the safety position in order to get some speed back there. You can see out there that, well, you can't see it on the TV right now, but Coach Barnes is out talking to the referees, probably talking over a few fine points. But Los Al's team getting ready to go. So looks like they're going to be receiving the kick.
Well, as we got here tonight, we were introduced to Coach Manuel Douglas, and he takes his high school football very seriously, as you would expect. 4-0 and one of the #1 ranked teams in the LA County High School District, and he takes his kids on the field and then takes them back to the locker room, then brings them back again, very similar to kind of a college setup. And he is not accessible before the game. We had trouble even getting the starting lineup, and he is all about business. You love to see that kind of passion at this high school level.
Yeah, there we see, we can see Narbonne just now running on the field as they come out. Good size squad for Narbonne here tonight. And those of you that are used to seeing big Los Al squads on the sideline, you're not going to see a lot of bodies on the sideline tonight. Coach Barnes, over the last 4 or 5 years, has been slowly cutting back on the traveling squad to the away games. As he puts it, you know, for the guys that aren't really going to get on the field, it can be a little bit of a distraction on the sideline for the other players, and they'd rather have everybody focused on what's going on in the game. And so for this game, I counted it's probably not much more than about 45 bodies out there. So Coach Barnes definitely just going with a certain starting group tonight, and we're going to see him out there a whole lot for this game.
Well, we are just moments away from getting underway. This is week 5, and both of these teams undefeated, so this will be a very big challenge, especially as both these teams will be starting league play. Next week, Los Alamitos will open against Marina. That will be their homecoming. Daryl Jenkins is going to be back for Los Alamitos.
And one thing to note on the kickoff, that the wind is behind Daryl Jenkins' back, so Narbonne kicker going to have to kick off into a fairly brisk wind for right now as the sun goes down. That should ease up as we get a little bit further into the game here, about the end of the first quarter. But at this point in time, Los Al will have the advantage of the wind for the first quarter.
Diego Montoya going to handle the kicking duties for Narbonne.
There we see Daryl Jenkins back about the 20-yard line, actually. So obviously the Los Al coaches have scouted out the kicking game for Narbonne, and
Josh, and Ron, if you'll remember, Josh Barut has been handling the return duties so far this year, and Narbonne says, I don't want anything to do. When they knocked the ball loose, maybe that was a good design play, picked up, coming around the side.
Blocking. He's to the outside, moving upfield. Jenkins ends up with the ball after all.
So Jenkins ends up with it anyway, but almost a costly turnover for Los Alamitos, and it looks like they are going to choose to keep it away from the return man tonight. And so we already have gamesmanship underway. Los Alamitos will set up on the 35-yard line.
Well, let's real quick go over Los Al's offense while they're getting ready to come on the field. Clark Evans at QB, Cody Perez at running back, Daryl Jenkins, Paul Richardson, John Cherie, Zach Cadlitz, the wide receiver, and then Kevin Rollins, Yusuma Saleh, Ryan Derry, David Foote, and Michael Holmquist on your offensive line.
So Clark Evans comes in with the double setback, going to give it to Perez. Perez going far side, has a bit of a lane. Nice pickup on first down.
Yeah, that was a nice 7-yard pickup there. Los Al just taking it right at the run. And that's one of the things when I was talking with the coaches before the game. They said, you know, there's some big boys on the side of Narbonne, but they're not exactly the fastest guys in the world. Okay, while we're waiting for Narbonne right now to get ready, we'll go through there. We're missing one of the defensive linemen because they changed the player out, but we have Robin Anisette, Devin Wallace, Joshua Jackson on the D-line, Thomas Correa, Hugh Michael Johnson, Tim Tucker in the linebacking position, then Taylor, Farber, Parker, and Moore in the safety and cornerback positions.
Clark Evans going to keep it, trying to get to the corner, got enough for the first down and run out of bounds. Let's see if they throw the flag. That was kind of hard to see where the out of bounds line there is, but looked like that defender was riding him out. Tim Tucker taking Evans out of bounds.
Well, yeah, and you can see with the track around the field here, there's not a lot of space between the sideline and when they start getting into the bench area, but you know, good plays by Los Al. I mean, the first 15, 20 plays are going to be scripted. They're going to test out Narbonne, see some, you know, plays that they've worked on because of what they've seen on film from the previous games. This has always been the way Los Al's run their offense.
Cadlett's checking in at receiver this week on the near side. And Perez goes out and goes into a wide receiver spot. Clark Evans finding some room. Hard man to bring down. Narbonne certainly has probably not seen a 233-pound running back.
Yeah, Tyrone Taylor on the tackle there for Narbonne. So, yeah, Fritz, I agree with you. I mean, the thing is, you got a big, strong running back in this quarterback here with Clark Evans. And, I mean, even though Los Al goes to a one-back set, it is a two-back set just because of the fact that Evans has great running ability.
Richardson, the receiver, now on the near side. Next to him is Jenkins, and the lone setback is Cody Perez. Going to give it to Perez, finds a big hole right up the middle, and tough running, enough for a first down. And Los Alamitos now deep into Narbonne territory. And so far, the Gauchos, Ron, have not been able to really close off any of these lanes. The middle's been really open.
Yeah, Los Al's offensive line just doing a great job of blowing holes open against Narbonne right now. And that's what you got to do all night, Fritz. I mean, just keep playing disciplined football, blow the holes open, get your guys into their linebackers, and let your runners, you know, just go.
Fresh set of downs for Los Alamitos. Clock continues to run early here in the first quarter. 9:48. Clark Evans going to keep it, jumping around. Got to put that ball away, but just falls forward.
Yeah, picks up another 2 yards when he falls down. I agree with you, Fritz. That looked a little uncomfortable there, having Clark holding that ball out about 1.5 feet away from his body. Number 54, the guy whose name we don't know because the coaches wouldn't tell us, makes the tackle. So, yeah, a little bit challenging when you try to get the pregame information from the coaches so you can call their players' names out, and he will be Mr. Unknown.
So Los Alamitos yet to put the ball in the air. Now they go I formation with Castaneda and Cody Perez. Now they go to the air, right over the top.
Wide open. I believe we might From the yells you can hear, I believe we might have the Richardson family next to us. Okay, we're in the stands tonight.
There
folks.
was not a defender within 5 yards.
No. And this is what Los Al's going to do. They're going to run the skinny post, the skinny slants. You know, they're going to look to see where they can make offsets against Narbonne. I mean, one way to sit there and push off against a team that's got a lot of speed is to run routes at them to force them to stay with your guys, and Los Al is just great at that. The receivers have a lot of discipline, run great routes, and as you see for Los Al, immediately converted. Whoa. Well, that was good. Yeah. Not maybe the kind of kick that Zach Cadlitz would normally like to make, but it got through the goalpost, and that's all that counted.
Well, and it's very interesting, Ron, to me that Los Alamitos was able to move that offensive or defensive front for Narbonne. I mean, they had some real size up there. Some of those kids going both ways. We'll see them on the offensive side of the ball. But a little surprising that middle was open like it was on the ground.
Yeah, well, what you saw there, though, is Narbonne runs a wide set with their defensive linemen. And what you have to do, when you have a wide set, your linebackers have to be ready to fill at a moment's notice. And really what your linebackers are going to be doing is they're the tacklers, and the O-linemen are there to fill gaps. Los Al is just playing great offense right now. I mean, their offensive linemen are just pushing the holes, and what they're allowing is they're allowing the running backs to get out and be the lead block, you know, especially when Clark Evans goes and holds the ball. That allows Perez to get out there as a lead blocker for him, get ISO on a linebacker. And I'll tell you what, a 5'10 linebacker is not going to bring Clark Evans down very easy.
Well, and I would have to say that was the best offensive series we've seen all season. That was
absolutely
all very scripted, as you say, and all about business. Yep. Los Alamitos put 7 on the board. That's only half the equation now. Let's see how the defense performs.
Nice kick by Cadlitz, very deep. Going to be taken at the goal line. Narbonne heading upfield, got a lane, he's open. He's still open.
That's Byron Moore, and Byron Moore's still on his feet. That is a huge return, and this is going to be very important tonight, special teams. I wonder if they're going to kick deep and maybe go with the squib.
No, I'll tell you what. With the wind behind him, Cadlitz should have put that ball in the end zone. I mean, there's just no excuse on that one. I'm going to say he's got a 10, 15-mile-an-hour wind behind him. Zach's got a strong enough leg. He needs to just put his foot into it and drive it through the back of the end zone. Well, in high school ball, it doesn't matter if you line drive it as long as you get to the end zone.
Well, I'm sure Barnes will be talking to Cadlitz about that. So, great field position. Ball on the 48-yard line as Narbonne will get their first shot at it here with 8:47.
Quick handoff inside. That looked like number 25.
Yep, that's Irvin.
Chris Irvin. And so let's get a chance to go over the offense. Josh Moten, the QB, as we talked about. Thomas Gray, Melvin Davis will trade off at running back. Chris Irvin also running back. Wide receivers Taylor, Moore, and Hill. In the line, you got McClown, Fasal, Rodriguez, Jackson, and Anisete.
So Irvin will be your lone setback. Josh Moten, your quarterback.
Oh,
nice
wide open
pass.
Receiver in the skinny post area. I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a score fest tonight. Josh Barut on the tackle.
Byron Moore was your receiver.
What you're going to see is you're going to see speed on speed tonight. Okay, let's go over Los Al's defense real quick. Fremling, Schnitzer, and Pau on the line. Then at the linebackers, you got Castanedas, Fernandez, Napolis. And then in the defensive backfield, you have Cherie, Richardson, Jenkins, Barut, and Watson. So Los Al, as we said, kind of going with that 3-5-3.
Now Melvin Davis checks in at running back. We said there would be a platoon effort here, and he has a nice pickup inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, big young man there, number 5, Melvin Davis. Good size. Yeah, Mason Pau on that tackle there, but I mean, more of a knockdown, and Davis fell down. So this is what you're going to see tonight. 2 teams that really know how to execute and play football.
Second down and 3. Clock continues to run here in the first quarter, 7:39.
Ooh, holy cow, Fritz. Look at number 75. That guy's wide enough to fill 2 doorways.
Right up the middle, and Los Alamitos closes the hole there in the middle.
Still trying to get him down, but a good job. Stopped him up. That's it. Plug the holes. Well, you know, one of the things also is if they try to run inside, one of the things for Los Al to do is just basically cut the knees out from number 75, and effectively you filled the hole. Jacob Fremling on the tackle there.
So that'll bring up a 3rd down 2. No pickup on the play. 7-11 here in the first quarter.
What I'm surprised we haven't seen yet, Fritz, is a quick pitch toss off to the running back there because, I mean, obviously they're crossing. Now you're seeing it. There it is. The
There's
outside
Davis.
toss. Great pursuit by Los Alamitos. Great pursuit. Well, maybe that's why we're not going to see the quick pitch toss because I tell you what, the O-line definitely could not get outside to protect their running back, and Los Al did a great job of reading that play.
Well, now do they go for it on 4th down or do they go for the field goal?
Seeing as the way their kicker was warming up, I think they're going for it, to be honest. Oh, wait, no, we're seeing some guys come on. Maybe they're going to go for the field goal.
Diego Montoya, their kicker. Let's see.
Well, yeah, he's got the block.
Ball's on the 7-yard line, so.
This is interesting. I mean, it's not like they're in a real hurry to make this happen. Time's running off. Montoya sets his block finally. Still trying to set the block. There has got to be a delay of game
Yeah, no
here.
kidding, and that's going to make that more than just a chip shot. Yep,
Yeah,
there it is.
I mean, I don't know what this kid was thinking. It's like, hey, you got 25 seconds. Oh, they
Oh,
called
no, they called timeout.
Yeah,
Good call.
Narbonne's coach had to realize I was just about to add 5 yards to this kick. And now the wind's really come up. As we said.
You know, Ron, he literally was setting that block down like he was setting a table. I mean.
Oh, I know. I can't believe this. I mean, it's like, okay, you got one job. Come out, kick the field goals. I mean, why he's not coming out immediately, getting the block exactly where he wants it set, surprised to see. But we've got a real breeze blowing right now. We'll have this. It's called the sundown effect. So all through the first quarter, I expect it to blow to Los Al's advantage as they'll have the wind at their back for the first quarter.
There's our Stars and Stripes blowing in the wind.
Yep.
And for Narbonne, they got the ball out on the kickoff to the 48-yard line, moved right down, and they have stalled on the 7-yard line, unable to punch it through. That'll bring up 4th down and 5. They have to burn a timeout.
Now the thing is once a referee start the clock again, you could still end up with a delay of game coming out of a timeout. This will be interesting. Okay, we have a left-footed kicker here, and he's got a real angle on this shot, and he still isn't confident about, boy, if I was a coach, I'd be real nervous right now.
Yeah, now may be a
seeing.
time to consider going for it. And the referees have been on the sideline talking to Manuel Douglas. I would expect that Manuel Douglas is quite a passionate game time coach if his pregame was any indication of the way he coaches.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see. Let's see what happens here. Los Al should crash this hard. They do bring it. It's up. Oh, this is going to be barely making it through. And it's, oh, no good. It went wide right. So Los Al, even though they gave up a huge run back on the kickoff, ends up playing stiff defense and holds Narbonne scoreless. So the Griffins will start with the ball at the 20-yard line.
Well, Ron, you almost wonder if the time worked against him. You had so much time to think about that odd angle.
First rule for kickers, never think,
Yes.
just kick.
Coach, don't call timeout next time. Just let me kick it.
Yeah. Well, the problem was he had to ice his own kicker
Yeah,
because they were going to take a 5-yard penalty, and from the distance that ball went, I'm not sure 5 yards more would have been a makeable kick.
Well, for Los Alamitos, they did not waste any time marching right down scoring. They did most of it on the ground, only put it in the air once, and that was the touchdown. So Clark Evans with his second series, going to give it to Cody Perez. And that hole closes a little bit quicker this series. Flag on the play.
Yeah, that was a late flag, so I'm not sure if that was a hold he saw finally at the last second trying to get out of his pocket or if he's going to call a face mask. Let's see what he signals here.
Robin Aniceta.
He's showing a face mask, so with the change in rules, there is no 5-yard face mask anymore, so this will be 15 yards.
Unless it's LA
wait
City.
A moment. Yeah, unless it's LA City and you go 5 yards. When did that start? That's top to bottom through the whole college through high school ranks. They made a decision to go to 15s, personal foul, to stop guys for the short face mask. Oh, well, as we said, City League is a governance unto its own.
Castaneda and Perez in the backfield. Give it to Castaneda. Finds a hole. Still running.
Great job by Castaneda. Boy, he locked that ball up real quick. Made sure that he didn't get it knocked out. Also, good vision on his part. First hole he was supposed to go, kick outside, saw that was filled up by Narbonne, and then he kicked back inside and made about 10 yards on that play.
5:33 left here in the first quarter. Los Alamitos gets out of the basement and into open field. 7-0 Los Alamitos. Going to stick with that double back set of Castaneda and Cody Perez. Clark Evans going to keep it. Now they close on it quickly, and look at that. Still gets 2 yards on the play.
Wow, he is such a strong player. I mean, he had 3 guys holding on to him, still moving those legs. Picked up about 3, maybe 3.5 yards on that play. Well, I'll tell you what, Narbonne is a good team. I mean, they're doing some quick reads on the plays. They're trying to get in, but I tell you, Los Al's O-line, I'm going to give them a lot of credit right now. They
So
are
far,
opening the
absolutely.
holes.
Well, and look at this. That was wide open. That was 8-10 yards last series, and the Narbonne made their adjustments, as you would expect they would, a 4-0 team. Number 1 in LA City, and we have now timeout.
Los Al calls timeout. Obviously, the coaches didn't like what they saw, or they thought the clock was close to running out.
Timeout, Los Alamitos.
So one thing I expect tonight, Fritz, is I do expect to see Los Al go no huddle almost all night long, keep the Narbonne players on the field, because as you said in the opening, they are going both ways. A lot of them. Get them tired out.
Well, you have 2 linemen, one at 380, the other one at 310. Let's see here. On the offensive line, Penny Fa'asu, 380 pounds, 6'3".
Yeah, that's number 75.
Yep, that's that left guard. And then, of course, you've got a 310 in Justin Jackson. Like you say, though, can they move? It'll be interesting. That pitch toss, they did not get out in front, and Los Alamitos blew that one up when they were deep. Narbonne, that is, deep in Los Alamitos territory.
Well, it's like I was telling you guys, you know, before the game in 1967, Anaheim played Santa Barbara High, and that was the year Santa Barbara High's offensive and defensive lines were larger than the Rams, but Anaheim just ran around them, you know, and that's the thing you look for. Oh, boy, that was a dangerous play, but Castaneda comes up with it.
Nice open field tackle, but Castaneda now gets deep into Narbonne territory. Great little dump-off pass by Clark Evans.
Yep, Byron Moore there on the tackle for Narbonne, and you're right, Fritz, that was a great open field tackle.
And that ball was tipped as it came over, and Castaneda had the presence to concentrate on the ball, even though its path was disturbed a bit, and huge pickup. Now Los Alamitos threatening again.
Well, Narbonne did a good job on reading that play. They got their guys out there quick into the zone where Clark Evans had to throw to, and almost forced an interception, but Los Al got the ball through, made the big pickup.
Castaneda finding a room, finds a little hole. Very patient, poor tackling by Narbonne, and it's costing them.
Yeah, I'll say again, Tyrone Taylor looks like he was the one on the tackle there. Narbonne looks like they're trying to tackle up around the shoulder pads.
Well,
Fritz.
they are, Ron, and they're trying to pull that ball out. Los Alamitos doing a good job of covering up, but they are going for the ball, and it's given up another 3 yards.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is that really you don't want to tackle at the shoulder pads. I mean, you know, and I'm not going to blame this one on the coaches. A lot of players like to tackle at the shoulder pads because it's a flashy tackle, big hit. But really, you have to hit low with the hips. I mean, that's where the center of mass is.
I formation. Perez, Castaneda.
Again, handoff inside to Perez. Still on his feet. Just gets tripped up. Should be close to a first down.
I'll tell you something. That O-line is doing a fabulous job, Ron. They are holding those blocks just long enough to open the door.
Yeah, Justin Jackson for Narbonne made the tackle there. So let's see where they place it. All right. Say it's 3rd and 1. Okay, Los Al now goes into a huddle.
3rd down and 1. Clock continues to run. We are at 2:46 here in the first quarter. Clark Evans going to keep it, gets around the corner, should have enough.
Yeah, looks like it. Looks like he picked up about 3 yards on that play.
I'll tell you, this has got to be a very exhausting, Tim Tucker in on the stop, this has got to be a very exhausting drive for Narbonne. That's 2 times, 5 minutes, you know, at a clip.
We're coming on 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter, which means for 9.5 minutes gone, Narbonne basically had the ball about 1.5 minutes. Los Al's had a ball about 8 minutes right now. The other thing I'm noticing too, from looking where our spotter's been pointing on our chart there, is we're pretty much calling linebackers and cornerbacks and safeties right now on the tackles. We're not calling D linemen making the tackles. So that's what Los Al wants to do out here.
Well, I was just going to say, haven't had to go.
Oh, another great one. Let's see, did Richardson cross? Yes, he did. Great pass there by Clark Evans. Richardson comes across on the slant play. I mean, excellent route. Just does a great job running across. Evans with a good hard throw. And I'll tell you what, Fritz, that's probably the first time in about the whole season I've seen Clark Evans gun one.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
and to number 8, Richardson, a guy that's been a little bit frustrated. The two of them haven't been on the same page tonight. Absolutely on the same page.
Yeah, Losal, another just great job. Run the ball down, grind, grind, grind. Boy, Cadlitz just again barely gets it through. And, you know, great effort. I mean, seeing a little pattern here, at least for the first 2 scores. Grind the ball down, run, 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 run. Let your O-line work on the defensive line, and then when you get in close, man, make that quick strike, bang.
Well, remember, special teams, always a defining factor. Los Alamitos gave up a huge return. Let's see how they instruct Cadlitz.
Well,
Still got that breeze to the back.
Especially we've got a great breeze behind us right now. In fact, they're calling for, watching the weather this morning, they're calling for a big Santa Ana this weekend because of the weather conditions that are going to be out there. And I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if we do maybe see a little bit of a shift with the Santa Ana and the breeze holding all night long. Coach Barnes there telling his kicker, kick it out the end zone. That's one job you got.
Back deep, Byron Moore stands on his goal line.
The other thing I think, too, that I'd tell Cadlitz if I was the coach is to say, okay, they've only got a single back there. That gives you 25 yards to get away from him on towards either sideline. Don't kick it straight down the middle of the field.
2:06 left here in the first quarter.
Cadlitz
lets it
drives
fly.
it. Yeah, this time he did his job. Great kick.
Almost kicked it out of the back of the end zone.
Yep, great kick. That's what they want. Start them on their 20-yard line. Do not give them good field position. Good job by Zach Cadlitz there.
So Narbonne will get their second possession as we are just almost in the last few seconds here of this first quarter. It'll be interesting to see now how Mr. Moten will perform deep in his own territory, 20-yard line.
It's also interesting to see when Cadlitz came off the field. Coach Barnes definitely very happy, clapping his hands, gave him a little low 5.
So Irvin is your lone setback.
Quarterback keeper here. Boy, this guy's got speed.
Well, there's a Clark Evans style run there, Josh Moten.
I'll tell you what, Moten, that guy is quick.
So back at you, Los Alamitos, a running quarterback, very dangerous.
Josh Barut on that one. And you know what? I mean, I wouldn't expect Los Al to hold Narbonne scoreless all night long. No way. I mean, this is a team that's 4-0, has played some good teams so far. I mean, #1 in the City League. This is going to be a team that's going to put some points on the board.
They've put up 161 points in 4 weeks so far. Yes, they will be a hard team to keep off the scoreboard, although Los Alamitos has already posted the average that they've given up in 14. So, interesting. Moten, very patient. That is
they
a
call it
catch. 8-yard pickup.
Yep, good effort by the receiver there, number 9, I believe it is, or number 8. Hill comes back and does what a receiver's supposed to do. His QB got in trouble, and Hill came back and did a little back button hook and able to get the pass completed. And one thing we'll tell you tonight, folks, is you probably see on TV, dark green numbers on black uniforms are very difficult to read. They may look cool, but I tell you what, they're not very telegenic.
Well, we are into a minute here in the first quarter.
Okay, we have somebody was probably either offsides.
Moten getting around the corner. Wow, look out for him all night.
Boy, great acceleration. I tell you what.
We do have a flag on the far side.
Yeah, we do. It's probably going to be illegal procedure. In fact, the Gauchos are already going back to their original position. They know probably pretty much they are going to move back 5 yards on this.
Too bad. Great pickup.
Yeah, so basically no play. Yeah, there we have illegal procedure on the Gauchos, so that'll move back 5 yards. Los Al definitely give them 2nd and 7 instead of first down at about the 35-yard line. But I think this is one of the things we're going to see all night, Fritz. It's going to be basically, you know, 2 QBs. Both guys have good running ability, although Clark Evans, while not as fast as Moten, is definitely a much more harder target to bring down. But, boy, I like the way Moten, once he gets the outside.
Out and goes.
Ooh.
He's got a second gear.
Yep. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets recruited for college that they don't convert him very rapidly into either a DB or into a receiver.
Second down and 7 for the Gauchos. Shotgun for Moten.
Mason
Good
Powell,
protection.
good pressure. Wow.
Had enough time.
Crossing pattern about 7 yards down the field, and it looked like it was going to be maybe to Chris Irvin or maybe Thomas Gray is who they call out. So just a little bit too hot a throw behind the receiver. Just couldn't turn around and get back at it. A couple Griffins close there, but 3rd and 8 for the Gauchos. What do we have, Fritz? What, about 38 seconds left, it looks like?
38 seconds left here in the first quarter. Very important for the Gauchos to convert here. They don't want to give it back to that Los Alamitos potent offense. Los Alamitos has gone down the field offensively very easily. Moten rolling out, has plenty of time.
Oh, great coverage. John Cherie on great coverage. That was awesome coverage by Cherie down there. I mean, he was 3 yards behind his guy, but he had it spotted all the way and just came up and knocked it away. Now it's going to be interesting to see what Los Al's coverage team does here for the punt, because I'm not sure if Narbonne will punt in this situation. I wouldn't be surprised to see a fake.
Castile going to handle the punting duties, and Josh Barut going to stand back on his 25-yard line.
Well, that's not Castillo back there right now, Fritz.
I've got 88. It may be those numbers faking you out again.
Oh, that's
there,
okay. Lorenzo Castillo. Okay, yeah.
So let's see.
Not a bad kick for the win. Good fair catch called. All right, Los Al with great field position at the 31-yard line. So once again, Fritz, the Griffins hold.
Wow.
Yeah. I bet you Narbonne right now is going like, hey, this hasn't happened to us before.
Yeah, what do we do now?
Yeah. Well, you know, this is one of the things I talked to the coaches about before the game, and they said, hey, we're bringing the defense tonight, man. In fact, they said they actually had to tone it down in practice this week because the guys were hitting so hard, they were worried about an injury. I mean, that's what you like to hear. You like to hear guys are going game speed in practice.
Ron, we were both at that La Habra game. I'll tell you, Los Alamitos grew up during those first 4 quarters last week. They had not really seen an opponent like La Habra, and they had to toughen it up during a game, and they pulled it off. That was a fabulous victory last week.
Absolutely.
Right up the middle. That's Castaneda. And again, hard yards, but they're picking up 5, 6, 7 at a clip.
Yep, Sean Parker on the tackle there for Narbonne. Looks like number 74 for Narbonne got up. He's limping pretty hard. That's going to be a big loss for Narbonne because I believe that's Robin Anicetti. He's going both ways. And we should be running out the quarter here.
Well, and Ron, that does bring us to the quarter break. They said before the season the one area that they were not as deep in was where the offensive defensive line. That's why you got guys going both ways. They've already got a defensive lineman dinged up. Can't afford to lose another. And Anicetti is still limping. His right ankle is tweaked. So let's see if he's going to be able to come back in.
He's walking off towards the trainer's bench right now. No, he cannot put any weight on that leg at all. That's going to be a big loss for Narbonne.
Well, and for Los Alamitos, who's kept that defense on the field, the Narbonne defense, you're going to probably put an underclassman in there potentially in a tough, hard-hitting game. Advantage Los Alamitos.
Well, and that's part of the Griffin strategy. I mean, that's what any coach wants to do. Keep your O on the field, keep your D on the sideline. Let them rest up. Let them go in being psyched up, ready to go in.
Metrolink Weekends, with 25% off weekday fares, is your ticket to new adventures. Relax on a trip to the beach, tour the Mission in San Juan, pop over to the Orange Old Town Plaza, drop by trendy downtown Fullerton, spend the day in LA, or the travel destination of your choice.
Safe and affordable family fun. Metrolink Weekends.
Visit octa.net/Metrolink today for fares, schedules, and fun destinations.
Drowning. It's a silent killer. Children under the age of 5 are 14 times more likely to die from drowning in a backyard swimming pool than a vehicle accident. It can occur in 3 seconds and as little as 2 inches of water. Drowning is 100% preventable. Supervision is key. Install multiple barriers like fences, locks, and alarms. Know how to swim and learn CPR.
For more information on drowning prevention, contact the Orange County Fire Authority. I joined the National Guard and never thought I'd be saving lives.
I never thought I'd have such an impact on my community.
It's more than money for college. It's built my character and given me a sense of accomplishment.
Citizen soldiers have two missions. One is right here at home during emergencies.
The Guard opened the door for me. Now I'm on a career path, and I'm the leader of my team. When your country calls, you go, proudly.
I put on the uniform, and I have a whole new outlook on life. Country, community, family. That's what matters most to me. If that matters to you, go to 1-800-GO-GUARD.com.
Okay, people, listen up. Our fugitive has been on the run for 90 minutes. Average foot speed over uneven terrain, barring any injuries, is 4 miles per hour. That's a 6-mile radius. I want checkpoints established at I-95, 495, and over at Route 66. What I need from each and every one of you is a full target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, and doghouse in that area. Your fugitive has just cashed in his 401k plan, and all he had to do was roll it over. Go get him!
Learn about rollovers and protecting your financial future, and choose to save.
You can't mess with a big dog.
So Los Alamitos heads back out.
Again, looks like we're going to have two running backs because I can see Castaneda and Perez both going in.
Pickup of 6 on the first play before the first quarter break. This has been primarily a ground game, but just when I say that, they go to the air.
Jenkins
wide open.
Wide open position. Wow, the cornerback gave him an 8-yard cushion. I'll tell you what, was Farber on that one, and I tell you, you cannot give Gerald Jenkins that kind of cushion.
Well, Ron, the Narbonne is definitely respecting Los Alamitos receiver speed, but boy, you give him that much room.
Oh yeah, he's going to take it to you.
So that's enough for a first down. Ball moves out to the 48-yard line, 14-0. Los Alamitos put up 2 scores in the first quarter. And again, as I say, that equals the average that Narbonne has been giving up this season.
Yeah, and just a little note, in the first quarter, Clark Evans was 4 for 4 for 2 touchdowns and 89 yards. So, you know, that's pretty efficient. That'll get you a 152 rating on the NFL.
Well, and Richardson on the receiving end of those touchdowns.
Get another handoff to Cody Perez. Boy, I tell you what, I like how the running backs for Los Al just stick that ball right in. I mean, and just do not allow anyone to stick a hand in there. So looks like Tim Tucker on the tackle there for Narbonne, and Los Al doing what they want to do.
Well, it was great as Cody Perez was walking back. He slapped David Foote on the rear end and said, hey, thanks.
Yep, that's what you want to see. That's a team coming together.
Yep. Early here in the second quarter, Clark Evans in control. That leaves a 2nd down and 1. Cody Perez, plenty of room. Boy, that defensive front for Narbonne is wide open.
Yeah, Sean Parker on the tackle there, but I tell you, wow, all the credit in the world to Los Al's offensive line tonight. I mean, those guys are just blowing holes open.
Well, and you said it earlier, when we're calling out the defensive backfield almost every time, nothing is happening up on that line.
Yeah, one of the worst stats you ever want to see as a coach is that your safety is the leading tackler on your team, because it means that your line is not
ball's
Evans
on the
fumbled
ground.
ball, does a smart thing though, jumps on the ball. That was a little unnecessary by 72 there. I mean, he's on the ball's going to be blown dead. Might be a little frustration by Narbonne, but looks like Evans might have just taken his eye off the ball there for just a fraction of a second. Yeah, Anisette there just, no, that wasn't Anisette. That was number 72. So we don't even have him on the chart right now. Yeah. Anisette's out of the game at this point in time.
That was Justin Brown that landed on Clark Evans. So that'll tack on a big loss. 1st and 18 for the Griffins.
Actually second, Fritz. The board's wrong, but the sideline guy's
correction.
right.
Clark Evans.
Oh, this time Evans isn't going to get there, and we have a flag thrown also. So this could be a hold.
Clark Evans stopped behind the yard line, but there's a flag on the play.
Tim Tucker, the first guy there for Narbonne, but probably about 4 of them showed up. And they're going to call holding against Los Alamitos. So now the question for Narbonne is, do you push him back, or do you say you want 3rd and 20? I think I know what I would do if I was the coach, but they're going to take it. Wow. Okay, with a potent passing attack facing you and you give them another shot, I'm not sure I would have quite done that.
Well, we'll see here in the next couple of plays if that was a wise choice. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 28.
I mean, Los Al's only done 5 passing plays in the first 15 minutes of this game. I mean, they haven't even begun to open up this pass offense.
Well, and what they have opened up has been wide open.
Evans with a wide open receiver again. Oh, just goes off of Jenkins' hands. That was a good pass.
Dropped by number 6, Daryl Jenkins.
Well, that'll bring up 3rd down.
Okay, well, this one's going to have to go deep. And I expect Los Al should have the 5 receivers set on this play.
Last week, one of the longest pass plays for Clark Evans. He had a 65-yarder. And I believe that ended up being a touchdown, if that's
that was the
one.
one right at the end of the first half, Fritz, when everybody thought Los Al was just going to run the clock out. And receiver got wide open in the end zone, and Clark Evans just heaved one down there.
Cody Perez, your lone setback.
Slip screen here, and it's just not held. Boy, I tell you what, that was a good pass.
The pass was dropped again by number 6, Daryl Jenkins.
Okay, so the Griffins a little misfire on this one.
Well, it all started with the bad snap. I mean, they had a real good drive going.
Well, Fritz, and we saw it last week also. Los Al has had a little bit of an issue this year with the center snap back to the quarterback on the shotgun. Cadlet's getting ready to punt here. Now, I'm going to say, with a lot of wind blowing, Zach's got to try and just drive this one deep.
Sean Parker, number 1, back for
good punt.
Narbonne. Narbonne,
fair catch called.
Parker with the fair catch, be about 21-yard line. And for Narbonne, they dodged a bullet there. Los Alamitos was driving, and that defense stiffened up, taking advantage of a penalty and some mistakes, and kept Los Alamitos out of the end zone for possibly the 3rd time.
Yeah, it looked like Los Al was starting a good drive there, but as you say, it's a key mistake that forces him back, and then the penalty on top of it. So really there was 2 mistakes on that series, Fritz. And Narbonne making the right decision there by calling for the penalty to be marched off. But still 80 yards to go.
9:26 left here in the first half. Moten.
Running back in motion. He's got the ball. Number 4 going up the sideline. Still moving. Looks like number 21 for Los Al made the tackle there.
James Taylor, number 4, the running back for
Twin
Narbonne.
Fernandez on the tackle there. This first game Twin's been back. He was injured earlier this year. So Los Al wanting to get him back on the field.
That brings up a 2nd down and 3. Moten going to go far side, cuts it back in.
Got a lot of space.
Boy, he is
he's an explosive runner.
Unbelievable.
Robert Watson on the tackle there for Los Alamitos, and Narbonne's moving the ball.
One of the things about Moten, he can go to the outside, and then when he cuts it back in, he hits 3rd gear, and he is flying. Los Alamitos is going to have to be very careful to stay in their lanes and be sure tacklers tonight.
Well, that's the thing, Fritz. I mean, Moten's just quick. I mean, he's quick to the outside, and then, like you say, once he goes forward, I mean, he just steps it up another gear and moves.
1st down for the Gauchos. Little shovel pass right up the middle, and all kinds of room up the middle.
Still on his feet. Nice shovel pass by Moten there, because Los Al reacted real well to what looked like a pitch toss. Daryl Jenkins on the tackle there. We told you Daryl Jenkins was going to be in this game, probably going both ways. but good play calling by the Gauchos there, Fritz.
8:16 left here in the first half. Now number 5 checks in. That's Davis.
Well, he's got a couple guys trying to hang on to him, but again, same thing for Los Alamitos. You cannot tackle that guy at the shoulders. That was Nathan Castaneda trying to strip the ball from him, but that's a strong running back there.
Yep,
you just got to go
Davis.
low, grab it around the ankles, and let him get down.
So Los Alamitos, this is where they stiffened up last time the Gauchos were knocking on the door. Davis going to stay in at running back. And Moten staring down a 2nd down and 10, going to the air.
Quick pass out to the flat. Then you got Twin Fernandez out there on the tackle.
Thomas Gray was the receiver on the far side. Yep, it's enough to move the chains.
So it looks like the Gauchos have an opportunity to still get at least another 1st down before it'll be 1st and goal. Looks like they're on about the 14-yard line.
Davis going to stay in at running back. Moten from the gun, fakes it just like Los Alamitos, and Moten's going to keep it.
Boy, good job there by Mason Pau, who got in there and got his hands on the back jersey of Moten.
2nd down and 7.
So even though it's a 3-yard pickup with Moten, you almost kind of count that as just a great defensive play.
Absolutely. So that'll bring up a 2nd down and 7. Clock continues to run, 6:36. And this is about where the Gauchos were at the other end when their drive stalled. Going to leave Davis in. Davis moves.
Oh, that's got to be a flag. Oh, finally the referee on the sideline figures it out. I mean, come on. This is always the thing that gets me frustrated about City League referees. I mean, it's obvious plays that should be called immediately. I mean, that play should have been whistled dead, and there should never have been a play called. This will be 5 yards. They'll push him back.
Well, this is where the drive stalled down here in the first quarter, Ron, and you know, right now the offense for Los Alamitos has scored fairly easily. These scores for Narbonne to stay in this game are important.
Oh, Los Al did not take the penalty, elected to leave it at 3rd and 7. Okay, they have a lot of confidence in their defense right now.
Irvin now in at running back. Irvin goes out into the flat, and that is caught.
Oh, nice pass.
Touchdown, Gauchos.
That's a great play by Narbonne there. Irvin does a late release out of the backfield, wide open. Boy, and you can see Aniset's back in the game there, and he is just limping hard. They've got his ankle taped, but I tell you, he cannot put any weight on that. That's a gutsy player to be back in there, but I'm going to be surprised to see if he goes all game.
Well, Ron, and it may be just a matter of who do we put in. Possibly Anisetti at even 70% may be better than a healthy kid that hasn't played at the varsity level.
And that's true, Fritz. I mean, blocked by Los Alamitos. Nice
Coming
job.
through, Josh Barut.
Somebody got through there in the middle.
The kick was blocked, making our score. Narbonne 6.
Wow. We've seen it before.
Yep.
Missed extra points can be huge. So with 6:12 left here in the first half, Josh Barut blocks the punt, and Los Alamitos going to get another shot at it.
Yeah, and I would say on the kickoff here, seeing Narbonne's kicker during warm-ups, even with the wind behind his back, Los Al should have a return opportunity here. There we see the Griffins go on the field. And it looks like Daryl Jenkins will be back as the deep man. Now, I'll be interested to see here whether they try this little pop-up kick again.
Well, then you've got Castaneda and Josh Barut there, the next 2 men up.
Yeah, in fact, you can see on the field when we pan back to it, Los Al pretty much has a hands team
Right,
on
almost
the field
an
right
onside
now.
kick
Yeah.
type, and more in the second and third tier. Montoya will let it fly.
This time he kicks it.
Jenkins will get under it, and he will have an opportunity for a return. Takes it on the 5-yard line, looking for a lane.
Boy. Narbonne did a good job getting downfield there and gave no room for Daryl Jenkins, so he got back out to the 20. So Los Al will have 80 yards to go with 6 minutes left in the first half.
Interesting to see what defensive adjustments the Gauchos have made. You could see they tightened up a lot of that inside run game that they were giving up before. Los Alamitos shot themselves in the foot with a bad center to QB connection. Let's see if they've got that straightened out with 6:06 left here in the first half. Clark Evans going to the air.
And it's a catch.
That is a catch. That looked like it was tipped at the line. That is Jenkins.
Yeah, Jenkins comes down with the ball. Catch and just a little bit thrown, a little bit too more downhill, but Jenkins gets his hands underneath the ball, so it's an 8-yard pickup. Well, there we see Anisette go off the field again. Oh, man, he is just hurting. I mean, he's a tough kid to be just even out there right now.
So Los Alamitos back to that double back set of Castaneda and Cody Perez. Give it to Perez coming around the near side.
Cody does a great job of getting the outside. His line does a nice job of sealing off. Thomas Gray, again, linebacker, making the tackle.
First down, Los Alamitos.
So that'll move the chains.
Yeah, that's a lot of confidence by Los Al and their O-line and their wide receivers to do the seal block on that because they ran short side of the field on that play. Well, we have the referees calling timeout. And they're calling it on Narbonne. So the Narbonne coaches want to talk to their players a little bit, probably tell them, hey, listen, guys.
They don't want to give up
now.
Another score and
Yeah.
plenty of time for Los Alamitos to move down the field.
Yep, don't let them run the clock off. Take it to 21-6 going in at halftime. Now, Narbonne will get the ball first at the half.
Even more important why they want to keep that ball out of the end zone. You see John Barnes talking to his crew. Manuel Douglas sensing the urgency of this game, wanting to keep that perfect season alive, doesn't want to give up another score and go in the locker room 21-6 because they will not have much time left if Los Al can control the rest of the clock and score.
Well, Fritz, the other thing, too, is, I mean, anytime you have one of the powerhouse teams from Orange County, whether it be Los Alamitos, Servite, Mater Dei, Edison, when they come up and play the City League teams, this is a big deal.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is a big rivalry game. You know, it may not be a rivalry between the two schools, but it's definitely a rivalry between the two sections.
1st and 10 for Clark Evans. Going to give it to Castaneda, and Castaneda just stood up.
Hit right away by one of the Narbonne players. See if we can get a number here. Looks like it's number 72, Justin Brown. Just a good stand-up hit right there.
Probably one of the best defensive stops at the line we've seen tonight.
Castaneda comes off for a moment, probably readjust his helmet.
Right, check that chin strap. 5:01 left here in the first half. Now we've got an empty backfield. Watch for Clark Evans to tuck it under and run.
He's looking downfield, looks crossfield. Oh, overthrows by a long shot. Daryl Jenkins was wide open. Almost, that would have been a very risky on that overthrow because of the fact that you had Narbonne with number 7 there, just absolutely positioned to make a play on that.
Adrian Ferns was the pursuing defensive lineman, and quite frankly, Clark Evans just got happy feet and let that go. He had some time there to make the connection, but good coverage downfield. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 8 as this Gaucho defense starts to stiffen.
Oh, this isn't going to work. One of the things in order for this play to work is somebody's got to block that cornerback from coming up and being there when the guy receives the ball, and that's exactly what happened. Yep. Presley came up, made the tackle, and now Los Al's going to have to punt again.
Well, that timeout by Douglas, the coach, very, very well thought, and it's going to give his defense a chance to
And Fritz, I'll tell you what, I'll be surprised if we see another play of that caliber in the game tonight, because the fact is that's a very slow developing play.
Wow, you gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me. They jumped off sides. Boy, this is going to be close.
Well, I got to tell you something. That defensive line.
Wow, that is a huge mistake by Narbonne. First down, Los Alamitos. Oh, that's the kind of play that drives a coach nuts. It's a punt. You got a 15-mile-an-hour breeze blowing in the punter's face. You're going to have great field position, and your guy jumps.
Well, we're trying to get a number, or I should say a name. Unfortunately, our roster does not show who number 53 is, but the defensive line got in his face knowing the gravity of that penalty.
Oh, that was huge.
Well, clock now under 3:48.
Oh, that's an absolutely broken play. He throws downfield. He's got a wide open receiver. Oh, he is. He's on his feet still.
Wow.
Richardson. Oh, I'll tell you what a play by Los Alamitos. That's a total ad-lib play, ladies and gentlemen, because that was a busted play from the get-go. Richardson just breaks free, keeps running his route. Clark Evans has a presence of mind to get away from the one Narbonne player that was on him and turns and just heaves the ball downfield. Richardson runs under it, breaks away from the Narbonne player, score Los Alamitos.
You could have put a blindfold on Clark Evans. It didn't matter. He was throwing it as hard as he could.
That was basically just throw it away from everybody. And Richardson, what a great play. He had the presence of mind to keep running the route.
Well, third touchdown tonight. Catalyts. Kick is up.
That's the kick we want to see.
Now, let's remember, ladies and gentlemen, go back to the penalty that set that all up.
That penalty was the equivalent of a turnover when you think about it, because basically Los Al was going to have to give the ball up and retained the ball. That was the equivalent of a turnover, and as it's an old adage in football, turnovers kill you.
Well, for Narbonne, they will get the ball back with 3 minutes and 38 seconds.
Yep. Well, the one thing we're going to be interested to see if the Richardson family next to us has any voice left by the end of the game. Because if they keep cheering and it's going to be 3 more, I think they're going to be pretty hoarse. Great play. Just a great play, both players.
Back for the Narbonne Gauchos is Byron Moore. He'll stand on his 5-yard line. It'll be interesting to see if Catalyts, this wind is continuing to stay.
Fritz, I'll tell you what, I'd put the ball on the ground.
Yeah, I was going to say, the flags on the far side are literally straight out.
In fact, when the announcers introduced him for this play here, they called him All-American Byron Moore, and he is. He's a preseason All-American. He's going to USC. He's going to be playing in the Army All-Star game, East-West game. Very dangerous player. And Cadlitz does it. He puts the ball on the ground, picked up by number 74. Holy cow. Yeah, number 59 for Los Al. He's going to be a little slow getting up there, or number 36.
Jose Sandoval takes that at the midfield and just leaned forward.
Yeah, and I think Sandoval right now is trying to count his toes. He took a wallop on that one. That was a big guy he got run over by.
No kidding. 3 minutes, 33 seconds left here in the first half. Narbonne going to get another shot at it. They found some openings in the middle of that Los Alamitos defensive line. Moten.
Oh, quick handoff outside. Oh, now that should have been a push in the back, but it's not going to be called. So they pick up about 4 yards on that play for Narbonne. Boys, 25, Chris Irvin. Boy, what a speedy guy. Tell you, that's a fast team out there, Fritz.
Nice pickup on first down. Let's call it 4. Clock continues to run, 3:11.
Well, I don't know if we have replay running tonight, but if we did, you could see on that play, a little shove in the back on the cornerback there. Definitely helped spring that play.
Irvin is your lone setback. Man in motion, they're going to get
a flea flicker play going here. Now he's got to run, and he's, wow. Pulled down big time by number 65, Frembling. Jacob Frembling not fooled at all by that play, and then just does a great job of yanking him down. So Los Al did not get fooled on the flea flicker play, kept good coverage going, allowed Jacob Frembling to make a sack.
That was Sean Parker, very dangerous Sean Parker, and Frembling almost ripped the pads and the shirt off. So that's now 3rd down and 7, very important for the Gauchos to try to keep this drive alive and close the gap. Plus, you give Los Alamitos the ball back with a little bit of time. that could be dangerous. Moulton going to the air.
Oh, wide open receiver.
So that'll be enough for the first down. Moulton, nice pass.
Yep, well, I'll tell you, this is one thing. Josh Barut on the tackle there. When I talked to the coaches before the game, and we have a 2-minute warning, one of the things they did say they were going to do tonight is they were going to play a little bit soft because their biggest fear was guys getting behind them. So they said, you know, we'll be willing to let them dink and doink, as they said, behind us all night long. Another shovel pass. Holy cow, that's a big running back.
Yep.
Boy, number 36 for Los Al there. Anthony Napolis, I mean, he's taken a beating out there on this series. He gets run over on the kickoff, and now he gets run over again by big number 5.
Melvin Davis. So now with 1:34 left, the Gauchos got to be a little bit careful of time. Second down and 5.
Again, Moulton looking downfield, still looking. A lot of time, wide open. Oh, we're going to have pass interference.
That's going to be against Josh Barut. He gave a little push and didn't need to. That was overthrown.
Oh, that was well overthrown. Unfortunately, in this type of play, you do not get an uncatchable ball.
Byron Moore was the intended receiver, and he is so scary that Barut chose to get in his face a little too much, a little bit of a push, and Los Alamitos is going to be marched back.
Right, and the reason why it's an automatic first down where the position is at is because it was not beyond 15 yards. In high school, it's 15 yards or where the play penalty occurred. And in this case, it was only about 13 yards downfield, so first down at approximately the 28-yard line.
Moulton, little delayed handoff.
Again, good pursuit by Los Al there, but picked up probably about 5-6 yards.
That's Chris Irvin on the carry.
Castaneda on the tackle.
Again, the Gauchos got to be a little bit careful of time. We are under a minute.
Yeah, clock's ticking down now hard.
Moulton looking pass.
Still looking downfield. Got a wide receiver. Nope, he overthrows him. Smart play by Moulton. Good coverage by Los Al there. 3 guys back there. Tell you one thing, Moulton didn't look across the field because he had 2 guys wide open on the left side. Good thing for Los Al. Okay, it's 3rd and 5 with 51 seconds left.
And we've already seen the field goal kicker tonight miss an extra point and a field goal, so this could be 2-down territory.
Got trips left on Narbonne there. Quick throw out for the isolated screen play. Boy, that's what they wanted to do.
Yep, got him out there man on man. Josh Barut just could not make the play. Byron Moore.
Yep, get it to Byron Moore. Get it to your big guy. I mean, hey, that's your key player out there. That's the guy you go to.
Now, will they go for 2, Ron, and try and get this thing even back up, or will they?
No, they're going for 2. I can see Moulton back on the field. I can see a couple other big guys in there.
Well, the Gauchos, this is a big score before they go into halftime. And as Ron, you reminded everyone, Gauchos will get the ball back when they come out after halftime.
Yeah, I imagine Los Al is going to call timeout here. Talk it over a little bit. Well, that's the one thing you expect, though, Fritz. I mean, hey, both these teams have really good receivers. And, I mean, you got an All-American in Byron Moore. You better be using them. And that was a nicely developed play. They had trips left. They got more isolated behind the other 2 guys. And as soon as he got the ball, he took off and headed upfield, scored the touchdown.
So timeout for Los Alamitos. This could be a big play to keep the Gauchos out of the end zone. Gauchos trying to get this thing even back up to a equivalent of a 2-touchdown game. Coach Douglas on the far side, sensing the urgency here.
Well, I would expect again to have one of these little quick shovel passes inside or the pitch toss. I mean, it's only 3 yards. You got 3 fast guys in that backfield.
Well, we probably will see that screen pass again. Looks like they're going to stack it up and just try and run it in.
Oh, I don't know if he got it. Nobody's signaling.
Talk about a cloud of dust.
Now they are. Yep, now they are. They had to unclog the pile a little bit. So Moton takes it in.
Well, we got 44 seconds left, Ron.
Oh, I don't expect Los Al's going to do much here. I mean, they might try for a big strike downfield, but depends where the field position comes up, what this kick does.
Well, Narbonne stays in this thing. You would have thought with that great pass from Clark Evans.
No, I don't expect this at all, Fritz. I mean, this is the #1 leading team in their section. These guys are going to play. I mean, this game's going to go down to the last second. It's going to be a great high school game. In fact, wow, this is strange. The kicker for Narbonne is setting up in what would typically be seen as a onside kick, where he's positioning the ball.
Well, Jenkins is standing back on his 10-yard line.
He is going for an onside. This is a strange play.
Well, let's see how we do here.
Oh, now he pooches it.
That's going to go to, well, over in Castaneda.
And we got number 33 for Los Al. Not quite sure who that is, but let's see. It's Mike Collins, I believe. If that's Mike, it's good to see him back in the game.
No, I think that's number 35.
Oh, number 35. Okay, that would be Glenn Miller. I was going to say, wow, that was going to be amazing because Mike Collins had suffered a third-degree separation a couple weeks ago.
That would have been a wonderful recovery. So here we go. 30, let's call it 40 seconds on the clock. Ball sits on the 20-yard line. And what will Los Alamitos do?
Well, it looks like they're coming out with a two-back set.
Will they go for the long strike and try and make something happen? Cody Perez cuts it
Oh,
back.
nice cutback. He's got a lane. But I tell you what, wow, that's a fast Narbonne team that runs up behind.
Yes, it is.
Number 28, Cody Perez was
I
drawn down
mean,
at the 29-yard line by number
Los
72,
Alamitos has 2 timeouts left.
Yeah,
but
that was an
choosing,
offensive lineman that drug him down there about 9 yards downfield.
Looks like Los Alamitos just going to let the clock run.
Yeah. Oh, the coaches aren't going to panic. I mean, they can see they can score on these guys, and they know it's just going to be down to, okay, who has last possession?
Will they get one more play off?
No, Evans is trying to make this just the last second possible. Yeah, he's going to keep it. Oh, he's going to still run. I mean, well, let's not con our chickens yet. I mean, nothing says once a whistle blows, you still can't run all the way downfield, so.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Ron, your thoughts?
Well, it's a great game. I mean, both teams have exciting offenses, can move the ball. Los Al's defense has been doing a good job, but you know what? You got a lot of good players on the Narbonne side, and on the other side, I'll say too, Narbonne is going to have to figure out how to stop Los Alamitos' offense, because the only way Los Al's been stopped so far is when they shut themselves down.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step aside for the halftime break. 21-14, Los Alamitos on top of the Narbonne Gauchos. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Exciting second half action coming up.
Will I always be working weekends just to stay out of debt?
Is a great college for our kids?
Out of the question?
Is the American dream
Out of our reach?
Not if we can help it. We're the National Endowment for Financial Education, a non-profit organization dedicated to helping people just like you get smart about their money. Log on to smartaboutmoney.org today and start taking control of your financial life.
I know. When considering the purchase of long-term care insurance, don't leave your decisions to chance. Without the right knowledge or a licensed insurance company, you could pay a high price for a wrong move, one affecting you and your loved ones.
Planning for long-term care is not a game. Get smart about your insurance choices. Go to NAIC.org or call your state insurance department at 1-866-470-NAIC.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Narbonne High School, where we are just moments away from starting the second half. Los Alamitos on top, 21-14 over the Gauchos. The Gauchos going to get the ball to start this second half. Ron, do we have some stats?
Yeah, we do. For Narbonne, Moten 7 for 10 for 105 yards. Narbonne total rushing 82 yards for total yards in the first half, 187. Los Alamitos, Clark Evans passing 7 for 10 for 153 yards for 3 touchdowns. Also had 41 rushing yards. And then Cody Perez, 8 carries for 62 yards. Los Al's total offense in the first half, 315 yards. That is productive.
Well, and yet you look at all of that, and it's only a 1 touchdown difference. Lots of flashy stuff for Los Alamitos. Drove down, had 14 of those 21 points in the first quarter. And this Gaucho defense has been stiffening up.
Yeah, they have, but Fritz, as we said, the one thing that Los Al did to themselves was when they stopped themselves on that one series where they were definitely driving down and putting themselves into scoring position. So it could easily have been 28-14, but the other hand, it could also be 14-14 because Narbonne, with essentially what was a turnover by jumping off sides on a 5-yard penalty with only 4.5 yards to go for the first down, and Los Al was in a punting position at that point, definitely cost themselves 7 points. So there we see the captains back on out for the second half ceremonial coin toss. It's already been decided since Narbonne will get the ball this half.
Well, Ron, you were talking before the game to Los Alamitos coaches, and one of the concerns was for Narbonne, and I think this came from Manuel Douglas, was just their discipline. Keith was talking about it as we were coming over, and that discipline was that costly fourth down where the offsides occurred, and Los Alamitos was able to retain possession, get the first down, and subsequently went the next play for the touchdown. So discipline going to be very important here. 1 touchdown difference, and Narbonne's going to get the ball.
Yeah, Los Al doing a smart thing here, taking the wind behind their backs for this quarter. Force Narbonne deep. I mean, Cadlitz should be able to put the ball out of the back of the end zone and not let Narbonne have any run back opportunity there, forcing them to start on their own 20-yard line. And we'll see if the Griffins can stop them. That'll be a key series. Here we see Coach Barnes talking to his kickoff team, and I'm sure he's already had words with his kicker and told him one thing: out of the end zone.
Tyrone Taylor, Byron Moore going to set up back for the Gauchos. And the very dangerous Byron Moore going to be the primary guy. He's standing on his goal line. Cadlitz able to put it out on the last kick.
And should be able to put it out in this kick too. We still have a good fresh breeze blowing here.
Byron Moore stands right on his end zone line.
Cadlitz with a big kick. Oh, Moore's not even going to try and catch this one.
Out the back, so that'll bring out, that'll eliminate the return. And Josh Moten will take it on the 20-yard line.
So Griffins doing exactly the way they wanted to start this second half off. Kick the ball out of the end zone, force Narbonne to go 80 yards now. And I think, Fritz, one of the key things we'll have to watch this half is to see whether Narbonne's offensive and defensive line, since so many players are going both ways, have the stamina to still carry it deep into the fourth quarter, because this is going to be the first game that they have had to go probably a full 4 quarters.
Irvin in the backfield, gets around the corner, and look out, so dangerous, actually tackled from behind. And we are going to go downstairs quickly for an interview. Keith Jones.
And hopefully so am I. I hope they can hear me at home. Can you guys hear me? Can they hear me? Okay, we're here. One of the great things about this matchup for those people here and at home is that we are getting to see 2 of the most well-rounded quarterbacks in Southern California. Both Clark Evans and Josh Moulton are very, very productive in the air and on the ground. Moulton with averaging almost 9 yards a carry, which is about his season average on the ground, as well as Clark, who's got almost 50 yards on the ground, and we've seen what they can do in the air. Both these guys are just well-rounded athletes.
And as Keith just said, Josh Moten made a pickup for a first down there on that play, so Gauchos are at midfield.
Yeah, ball on the 50-yard line, 11:34 left here in the third quarter. Moten hands it off to the first man through.
Oh, nice job by Los Alamitos there. About 4 bodies filling the zone there. Call a whole bunch of names there. Fremling along with Maisen Pau and probably one of the linebackers also.
Melvin Davis, the ball carrier there.
So 2nd and 9. I'll tell you what, Fritz, I think Los Al's doing a good job plugging the middle for the most part. It's when Narbonne does this quick kick to the outside. And, I mean, they're just fast. I mean, there's nothing you can do about the fact that when you get a fast running back or a fast quarterback to the outside, that's a tough guy to stop.
Melvin
Boy,
Davis.
there's a whole lot of confusion right now on the part of Narbonne. In fact, even the running backs are yelling at the wide receiver. This is going to be close to whether or not they're going to get the play off.
2nd down and 8.
Oh, incomplete pass. Boy, that was supposed to be a quick screen to the outside, and Moten just threw the ball too low for his receiver to catch, so it's going to be 3rd and 8. Fritz, this is the discipline we talk about.
Yep.
I mean, when people say a team is disciplined, it's not just that they, don't make mistakes on the offensive or defensive lines, don't get penalties. It also means the QB has the discipline to throw the ball to the right spot. The running backs have the discipline to hold on to the ball. It's throughout the whole execution of the game.
Well, for the Griffin defense, this is an important stop. 3rd down and 8. If they can get the ball back, that takes a lot of air out of the sails of the Gauchos, and they do. Nice
great
stop.
play. That was a nice play by Los Al there. That's a kind of an interesting defense that they ran there for Los Al. Essentially, they elected not to put any pressure on Moten on that play. I mean, the linemen basically just went up and held, and then they allowed, and I mean, they must have had a read on this. They must have done a good job during the film sessions with the coaches to know that what this play was, because they definitely knew where that ball was going.
So Lorenzo Castillo comes in. Yeah, we saw, Ron, when you get one-on-one on the outside, that is a tough, the Gaucho team, the tough receivers to defend.
High
Castillo
snap.
Pulls it out of the air.
Oh, this ball's going to be going backwards. Get away, get away, get away.
Boy, that almost hit one of the Griffins.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to figure out, when you're used to expecting a punter to put the ball, behind you and it's coming down, in front of you.
Well, my point, Ron, before the punt there is we had seen how dangerous the Gaucho receivers were on the outside, and they Josh Brute had trouble, even slipped, and that touchdown then was made. And all of a sudden here, that screen receiver, there were 3 white shirts on him. So maybe some adjustments there at halftime to try and take some of the speed out of these receivers.
I think, Fritz, one of the things is Los Al's probably seen is that maybe Moten doesn't read the field very well. He locks onto a primary receiver very quickly. As we see Clark Evans just bull the line forward a couple yards. And what they may be saying is, okay, guys, once you see him lock on, swarm to that receiver. He's not going to look for a secondary guy. But I also agree with you, Fritz. Boy, those wide receivers for Narbonne, those guys are dangerous when they're in open territory.
Any spot on the field could be a touchdown. They have that kind of speed. So that's a pickup of 2, 2nd down and 8, 9:24 left here in the third quarter. Ball on the 23-yard line. Play action to the air.
Oh,
and
almost intercepted. Wow. Great coverage there by number 1, Sean Parker. I mean, he stepped right in front of that. That should have been intercepted and taken to the house. Los Al got lucky. I mean, I'll tell you what, they read that play all the way. There was double coverage over there on the wide receiver for Los Al, and that was read 100%.
Well, as we said to open this second half, the Gaucho defense has been very, very tough.
Okay, after this play, we'll go down to Keith on the sideline.
Clark Evans with the empty backfield.
Oh, overthrown, but now it's, nope, incomplete. Boy, I tell you what, I don't know who that was going to. Well, let's go to Keith Jones down on the field.
We just saw on the play prior to this one, Sean Parker break up that play and almost intercept for Narbonne. Very dangerous weapon. He's also has 3 interceptions, all run back for touchdowns this year, so we don't want to get that ball anywhere near him if we can avoid it.
Good point by Keith Jones there. Yeah, their #1 defender going to have to throw the ball away from him a little bit. Okay, Cadlett's in, I believe, for the first punt of the game. Oh, no, second punt. He had one earlier in this game. Oh, booming punt. Nice punt. Fair catch called. All right, that's good job. Got him away. Down to about the 33-yard line. So Narbonne will start with about 67 yards to go.
8:58 left here in the third quarter.
So both teams come out in the second half and
shut them
down.
Both
sides shut down, so both teams end up having to punt away.
You had 35 points put up in the first half. And so far now these defenses really stiffening up. Ball now in the 33-yard line for the Gauchos. Moten going to keep it himself, very dangerous.
Oh, he's still on it.
I'll tell you, the only reason Moten still isn't running is he ran over one of his linemen.
Yeah, that was Josh Fremling there on the tackle. I mean, good speed by Fremling to catch up on him. In fact, we see, oh boy, this is number 22, Robert Watson, coming out for Los Al. So there we see Cody Perez now going in the backfield. Well, Los Al tonight, I'll tell you what, this is as many starters I've seen going both ways in a game in a long time. Quick handoff inside. This time, Los Al just stops the running back up. That was number 25, Chris Irvin, who got stopped up right away. It looked like Mason Powell and maybe another one of the defensive linemen on that one. So good job by the Griffins.
Clock continues to run. Yeah, run. I'll tell you, that would have been, first half, that was a 3, 4, 5-yard pickup.
Yep. Well, they're a little bit further in the game. The coaches are starting to read the plays a little bit better. The players themselves are reading the plays a little better.
That'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Moten looking pass.
Oh, good job.
Ball is loose.
On the ground. Is this a Griffin ball? No, they're going to call contact with the ground, cause the fumble, and I think that's a good call.
Good coverage for Los Alamitos. They got right on it.
Nobody had contact on that play. I mean, basically the runner, it was good containment, and the runner was forced back inside and kind of tripped over his own feet, went down, but that was definitely contact with the ground. Good call by the referees.
So ball sits on the 45-yard line, 7:25 here in the third quarter. Important third down for the Gauchos. Your lone setback is Melvin Davis. Moten going to the air, right across the middle, in and out of the hands. Throw that low, and that was intended for Byron Moore.
I'm going to tell you, this is a really unique defensive set I've seen Los Al run out here now a couple times on this pass situation. Napolis was probably the closest guy to that play, but I mean, really no one, that was just a throwaway by the QB. But Los Al, essentially, their defensive linemen are really not trying to penetrate the backfield. They're just trying to get their hands up in the air and block Moten's downfield view.
Yeah, more or less, they're just saying, hey, have at it, try and make the connection.
Yeah. Okay, we have a flag on this one, calling a sideline warning on Narbonne, which in high school is still, you get a first warning. In college and the pros now, you get no warning. As soon as they call it, you get penalized. Well, the last punt we saw into the wind by Narbonne only went about 20 yards, but then got a good 15-yard roll out of it, so we'll have to see this time what happens.
Castile stands on his 30. A little bit better.
No, this one's still, now it's going sideways. And Los Al's going to have really good field position here at about the 31.
The most dangerous part of that is where that ball's going to ricochet. Did get a little bit of a Narbonne bounce there, but you got to look out. That ball run up on you.
Well, Fritz, I'm going to say Los Al, I think, is really respecting Narbonne's speed, because even on the punts, I'm noticing the guys that are bringing the rush in from the outside are really not trying to attack the punter. They're really going more for containment in case he takes off and runs. So Los Al definitely respecting that Narbonne speed.
Well, so far here in the second half with 7 minutes left here in the third quarter, it has been nothing but defense It was all about offense in the first half. Clark Evans going to come back out with that two-back set. Castaneda, Cody Perez, they give it to Cody Perez. Gets around the corner, put that ball away. He's kind of hanging it out there. Nice
great
pickup.
open field tackle. I believe that was number 31 or maybe number 21. Might have been Thomas Gray. That was a great open field tackle because Cody Perez was off to the races. I mean, great run by Cody to begin with, but boy, that had the potential of going all the way except for that nice open field tackle by Thomas Gray.
Well, this is flashes of what we saw in the first half.
Well, Fritz, that's why I say, I mean, Narbonne has scored 40 points a game on average the first 4 games, which means these guys probably that are on the field right now didn't have to go the whole game and weren't pushed hard. Oh, that's intercepted. That never should have been thrown.
Flag on the play. Let's wait to see what that is. We'll let this play out.
He's going to go all the way to the house on this one.
Clark Evans, the only man to beat. Clark Evans lays a hit, but let's see what these flags are right at the line of scrimmage.
Boy, this is going to be interesting. There's 2 flags back there.
They came from both sides. Everyone slow down. We've got players all over the place.
Boy, number 72 now is limping.
You know, Ron, Clark Evans, it's like he was floating. It's like he threw a
shot
rainbow.
putted it. That's one where he should have just fired it into the 4th row of the stands.
Uh-oh, now wait a minute. They are...
Oh, they're picking him up. They're saying it was against Los Alamitos. That was I'm going to tell you something. That was as bad a throw as I've ever seen him make. And that really was. That is on his head. I mean, never should have tried to throw that. And Coach Barnes is probably talking to him right now and just saying, you know what? You made a bad decision there. You didn't have to try and do it. You had another play to go.
Well,
sometimes you got to eat the ball.
With that kind of speed, you can't float it.
I mean, that was just set up from the get-go. All right. Well, you now have Narbonne back in the game. And it's up, and it just barely made it over. Holy cow.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, all tied up.
Well, Narbonne made a mistake that cost them 7 points for Los Al, and let's go down to Keith Jones.
1-2. Check, check, check. During the half, the coaches were pretty pleased with first half play of the Griffins. One of their goals, ironically, was to stop that first Narbonne possession to get the momentum continuing in the Griffins' direction. They stopped them, but lo and behold, defensively, Narbonne was able to score and perhaps shift the momentum in their direction. On another note, with the wind and the sudden drop in temperature, it's about 15 degrees cooler on the field right now than it was when the game started, and we're already starting to see the players cramping up. A lot of stretching going on the sideline. For a team that depends upon speed, that may be a factor.
Yeah, well, as I was saying before we went to Keith, I mean, Narbonne gave up 7 points because of a mistake, and now Los Al has given up 7 points because of a mistake. So essentially, both teams are starting even at this point in time with about 18 minutes to go in this game. Well, Fritz, we've seen some weird kicks here. Let's see what this one looks like.
Montoya. It's going to be taken by the up man. Is that Watson?
Yeah, that's Watson, and I tell you what, I would have rather had Castaneda take it because Watson immediately started doing the jitterbug chants, which any special teams coach will tell you is not the way to do it. Just tuck the ball away and head upfield. You're not going to fake the guy out. Your biggest advantage is run by him. But Los Al, because of the way that kick is going to again start on the 31-yard line where they were about 3 plays ago.
Well, and Ron, we've seen here in the second half, Clark Evans put the ball in the air more than he did in the first half. So obviously some adjustments. That middle was open all night long in the first half on the ground. And right now, Clark Evans feeling like he needs to go to the air. We've got whistles blowing.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I didn't see any flags on the field, so I was trying to figure out. Well, Narbonne obviously didn't like what they saw. The coaches didn't like what they saw.
Well, they have climbed back into this game, and certainly they want to be very careful the way these offenses have been scoring. Narbonne's climbed back into this thing. They want to be very careful they don't give it up.
Well, and Fritz, kind of, go on the point that I've been talking a little bit about before. Narbonne has basically blown out the 4 teams they played earlier. They have not had to take their lines deep into the whole game. My guess would be is probably by about the end of the third quarter, these guys were off the field. They're going to be on the field all night tonight. And what I'm really going to look for is to see, okay, how Narbonne's offensive and defensive line are holding up in the fourth quarter, because that's where you're going to see whether they have the conditioning to play the whole game.
So coming out of the timeout, Clark Evans from the shotgun. Going to give it to Castaneda. Castaneda find a little bit of room, maybe a 2-yard pickup.
And there we're starting to see it. We see a Narbonne player, number 34, real slow to get up. I'll tell you, this is where it's going to start getting into him.
Well, maybe one of your best friends here, Ron, would be a long drive, really burn some time off that clock. We just saw how quickly Narbonne can score.
Absolutely. I mean, if I was Los Al, I'd just be working the short, plays the whole way out here. 6-8 yards a shot.
Brings up a 2nd down and 9. Cody Perez, I'm sorry, that's Castaneda right up the middle, and boy, he doesn't waste any time getting out near midfield.
Boy, Fritz, we're in the 5th game of the season, and we still have adventures in snapping on the shotgun. I mean, it's either hot one time, low one time, side one time, snap it without the QB even looking. This is something that needs to get into control here pretty quick.
5:17 left here in the 3rd quarter. Cody Perez finds a lane. Picked up 2 to 3 on that play. We'll see where they mark it.
Yeah, pick up about 3, and this is what, Fritz, as you called it, this is Los Al's best friend right now.
Yep.
A continued drive.
2nd down and 7.
Burn the time. Force Narbonne to start bringing some other guys on the field. And I think that's what Los Al is going to look for. They're going to look for some secondary guys for Narbonne to come on the field who maybe aren't starters and see if they can take advantage of them.
2nd down and 7 for the Griffins. Castaneda got some blocking out in front. Good line search there by the O-line.
Absolutely.
Getting
Picked up
way
about 5
downfield.
yards on that play. In fact, you saw one of the guys just push big number 72 for Narbonne, pushed him over and rolled over on top of him just to say, hey, hi, I'm here. You can see the hands on the hips now for Narbonne.
Yep. Yeah, that Los Alamitos O-line is literally pushing 3 to 5 yards down the line. Clark Evans going to keep it. Getting some running room. Gets outside.
God, he is just incredibly strong. Just incredibly strong. I mean, runs into his own guy who's getting shoved back by a Narbonne defensive lineman and just is able to hold his feet. I mean, and Fritz, that takes strength because a lot of guys get hit and fall down.
They've got him in the program at 233 pounds, so he's not going to come right out of the gate, but he literally ran to the back of that lineman and then picked up speed, got away from the pursuing defense.
Yep.
And did that. Incredible.
I tell you what, Dan Hawkins just signed a 5-year extension at Colorado. I think he's got to be a happy guy right now.
3:48 left here in the 3rd quarter. Get used to this formation. We'll probably see it for the rest of the night. It has been very productive. Castaneda right up the middle, finding a lane, and that front, in fact, call it now, the linebackers now are very susceptible.
That's why I said I saw number 34 getting up real slow a couple times. You notice now what he's doing. He's laying on the ground, and he's trying to pick up a couple, 3 seconds of rest before he turns himself over and gets back up. And that's Tim Tucker, and he's a 6'2", 240-pound senior. But I tell you what, right now he is sucking wind a little bit.
1st down and 10 for the Griffins. 3:27 left here in the 3rd quarter. Cody Perez getting outside, cuts it back in. Oh, great pursuit there by the Gauchos.
Yeah, that time Narbonne did a good job, kept their guys in containment. Yep, number 30, Derek Watkins, first guy there, and about 3 other bodies there with him. So Narbonne does a good job of actually causing about a 2-yard loss on that play.
That's exactly what it is. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 12.
Boy, this wind's just not letting up tonight. This is going to be a big factor in the 4th quarter.
Tackle by number 90, Devon Wallace.
So to the line. 2nd down and 12 for Clark Evans. Now they go to the I formation.
That's an offsides. freebie, 5 yards right there. Once again, as we talk about, you got to play with discipline. Of course, we also saw this at La Habra last week. Clark Evans has developed a pretty good hard count call. He got La Habra about 3 times last week, and so far it looks like he's gotten Narbonne twice.
Well, you got to figure you're getting tired, you're a defensive lineman, you're kind of leaning forward, you hear that hard count, you just almost don't have the muscular control to hold yourself back.
Exactly, Fritz. I mean, you're almost playing on instinct right now.
Right up the middle.
Boy, Losal is just pounding this ball right now. I mean, this is just control football. This is making no pretense of trying to be a high-powered offense through the air. This is saying we are going to grind over you. So it's 1st and goal for Los Alamitos on the 9-yard line.
That 2-back set has really worked well tonight. In fact, you know, again, why early in the 3rd was Clark Evans going to the air? It looks like this has been given to him all night.
Well, Fritz, I'll say, I mean, you got to test Narbonne, but you know, hey, run with what you brung.
Cody Perez hard fighting, maybe picked up a couple.
Yeah, Narbonne that time got a good surge with their defensive line and filled a lot of the holes. But again, Fritz, I tell you what, this is where now you have a setup for a play-action pass because, I mean, Narbonne has just been conditioned on this drive to totally react on a guy diving into the line. And it'll be interesting to see here if the coaches, because when they've gotten in this territory before, they've scored with the pass, not with the run.
Well, they did it over the middle to Richardson. That I formation.
Again, Richardson on isolation. Boy, I tell you what, that again is not a good pass. I mean, that was a shot put. That wasn't a throw. I don't know what's going on with Evans' arm out there, but that's not the guy I expect to see the way he throws the ball.
Minute 12 left here in the 3rd quarter. All tied up, 21 all. 3rd down and 11. Out comes Castaneda. This is important for Los Alamitos.
Yeah, going with a 1-back set, 4 wide receivers here. Oh, and then we have a timeout, I believe. Yes, we do. Los Alamitos calls timeout. So just as Jenkins was coming in motion, Los Al coaches called timeout.
Well, Barnes knowing the importance of this drive.
Well, the other thing, too, is, I mean, this could have been planned, Fritz, is to send the team out in a certain formation, see how the Gauchos react to it, and then say, okay, now they've reacted that way, and maybe the offensive coordinators upstairs looking down on the field have said, hey, we see something here, and they're going to change what route they want run.
Now, this 3rd quarter has been a lot of Los Alamitos, especially on this drive. And one way to keep this Gaucho team under control is to keep that offense on the bench.
Yeah, in fact, one thing I would expect to possibly see here is to see a play-action fake dive into the line, Clark Evans roll out to his right side, and then see if he can pull someone off of coverage on a wide receiver and then just flip over their head to a wide-open guy. I mean, the Gauchos have to react to it. They know this guy can run.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, so right now we're going to see Jenkins and Richardson both on the right side of the field. So Los Al stacking their strength on that side. Evans looks. He's got a wide open receiver. Oh, we have a flag in the middle. We have a flag in the middle. Not sure what this is going to be called. Don't be jumping yet. We got to see what this is. Oh, they're calling holding. Evans is holding his arm. Boy, I tell you what, that was unnecessary. Again, huge mistake by Los Al here.
Yep, now they got the cheerleaders. No one knows that it's being called back.
Well, not sure the cheerleaders ever know what's going on in the game.
Well, here's the deal. It's so cold out, that run probably feels kind of good.
Yeah,
back they come.
I got to agree, Fritz. They're probably just doing it just to say, hey, okay, let's warm up.
Oh, man, I wouldn't mind doing a little jogging, to be honest with you. It's cold out here, folks.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, this is a big mistake on Los Al's part. That was a beautifully run play. I mean, got Richardson just on a nice little slant route right across the middle.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 20. Ball now on the 20-yard line. Going back to the air, doing the lob.
Oh, wide open, wow.
Number 4.
No, wow, I'm going to tell you, that's amazing for Richardson, because I tell you, the Narbonne receiver had position. I don't know if we have a replay, but Narbonne had inside position on that, and the guy totally mistimed the jump, and Richardson comes down with his 4th TD of the game. Nice job by Paul Richardson to time that jump.
And Clark Evans came off the field and just was shaking his fist. A little bit of redemption there after the interception and overcoming that holding penalty that took away the touchdown just moments ago. Zach Kadlitz punches it through, and the difference now is 7, 28-21. Los Alamitos extends it by a touchdown.
Well, and with 58 seconds left to go in the quarter, Los Al's going to be kicking off downwind, so this ball should go out of the back of the end zone, which means Narbonne most likely will start the 4th quarter still deep in their own zone. So the Griffins, with a great drive, burn off about 5.5 minutes.
Well, this is the exact score of last week's game.
Oh, I don't think we're done yet,
no,
Fritz.
God, no.
Oh.
We are far from it. You get that feeling. Byron Moore, the very dangerous Byron Moore, stands at his in-zone line. Flags flying straight out. Wind at Kadlitz's back. Let's see if he can punch it through.
Oh, this kick's high. He's going to have a chance to return it, but it goes in the end zone. Yep.
Fielding that one is Sean Parker. Just let it get through. He missed an opportunity. He actually just had bad position. If he would have backed up a couple of yards, would have had a shot at it.
Yep.
Well, for Los Alamitos, this defense for the Griffins has got to stiffen up here. It'll be interesting to see, Ron, the players going both ways, how much they are affected having just been on the field.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, here you've been on there 5 minutes, and or 5.5 minutes, and you're tired, you're limping. Now you got to come back out again, and you got a fresh set of guys across from you pounding on you.
Keith wants to go to break right after this.
Davis is your lone setback. Moten, give it to Davis.
Boy, he's still on his feet. That guy is just quick. And Josh Barut on the tackle there.
Or was that Nopolis?
No, that was number 20 made that tackle. And Watson's coming back off the field again. It looks like he's cramping up. That's what the situation looks like there. I mean, that's just that stiff-legged cramp.
Under 30 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down, 1 yard.
Oh, pitch toss again. Well, actually, that's that quick inside shovel pass.
Yeah, back to the middle. Los Alamitos had that very well covered as Mason Pau comes up to make the stop.
And that probably was close enough to be a 1st down, but I tell you what, I like how Los Al's covering it. I mean, they're reacting quick. Even though it's a 1st down, I mean, not much you can do when actually it looked like it was probably about 1.5 feet for the 1st down on that play.
So likely won't get another playoff before we switch sides and start the 4th quarter.
I'll be seeing you in all the old
Jones, and he's got someone he's going to talk to.
We're here on the sideline right now with one of our captains from last year, 2008 alumni, Josh Coburn. Josh, great to have you. Hey, #1 ranked team in Los Angeles in Narbonne. Here we are, up by 1 touchdown going into the last quarter. What do you think of this game so far?
I don't know, it's a tough game. Our guys are playing solid. Cody Perez running solid. Clark is doing a great job, and Paul Richardson, great job. They're really fighting out here. It's great game.
Now, since leaving Los Al last year, what have you been up to?
I'm going to Azusa Pacific University right now. I'm redshirting. Redshirting, for anyone who doesn't know, that's just you get an extra year of eligibility. Pretty much you only get 4 years, and gives time for a freshman to kind of mature a little bit.
Hey, let me ask you, what is your favorite memory from last season?
That one's easy. It's just beating Edison last year. It was a great game. The whole game was a fight. I forget what the score was, like 13-11. It was a great game, though.
Hey, thank you for your time. Go Los Al.
All right. Josh Coburn, great player from last year. And Los Alamitos on first down has great coverage on the inside pass, and Narbonne only picks up about 1.5 yards on that play.
Well, they're going to need a lot of that tonight because this, I'll tell you, Ron, this team is so fast, so physical.
That's the thing. I mean, it's absolutely, one of those things where you think you can be doing great, and I mean, it's just instant isolation, guys off to the races.
Well, Jenkins is kind of your safety net back there.
And that's exactly what he is, Fritz.
Second down, 8, up the middle.
Inside handoff, still on his feet.
Look at that flag on the play.
Oh, boy, we're going to have 15 yards for a face mask. That is exactly right where that position's called at. That's going to be a big gain for Narbonne on this one.
Well, when you've got players that are kind of going in different directions and bodies are flying.
And you can be sure this one will be called a 15-yarder. Oh, it's only a 5-yarder, okay. Didn't call it blatant. Well, I'm surprised because I've seen some home field refereeing before when we've been up there. Worst one I think, Fritz, we ever saw when we played Losinger. Oh my God, it was ridiculous.
1st and 10, Gauchos.
Big handoff to Melvin. Oh man, this guy's just big and strong. I tell you what, the Gauchos are coming back hard. Fritz, this is going to come down to last possession.
Yep, clock continuing to run. And the Gauchos grinding up the yards. That'll bring up a 2nd down, and let's call it 2.
Well, a lot of good games going on tonight, but I tell you what, this has got to be one of the top ones in the Southern California area right now. 2 very good teams going at it hard.
Melvin Davis, the very dangerous lone setback. Going
Quick
screen
throw.
pass.
Oh, inside screen. All right, good job by the Griffins there. But it's going to be a 1st down, but still. Good reaction by the Griffins on that play, but just too few yards to go for the 1st down.
So move the chains, 1st down, Gauchos.
And the wind picks up.
Yeah, you can hear that wind, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to be interesting as we've seen some of the players cramping up. Okay, going outside.
He is outside. Now he's cut back inside. That's what Los Al wants. He's reversed the field, though. This is what you don't want.
Wow.
Great effort. Chris Irvin there with a great effort. Los Al had him locked up. Looks like number 6. Jenkins makes the tackle downfield, and he's basically truly playing as a safety down there. Great move by Irvin to cut back across the field.
Well, this is what the Griffins knew could be a problem. And when you reverse field like that, you've got all those defenders going the other direction. Gauchos made the most of that.
Well, especially with the speed that Irvin has. I mean, it's just, he's going to outrun guys all the way.
So now the very dangerous Melvin Davis checks in.
And again, it's a quarterback keep here for Moulton. And I mean, I tell you what, John Cherie just got locked up over there and never got his eyes off the guy to look up and see who was coming at him. Moulton with a great run to the outside.
Well, there's 9:23 left on the clock. This, as you say, could come down to the last possession, and for Los Alamitos, they need a big, long, clock-grinding drive like they did before.
Well, I'm not
they
so
scored
sure
on
I
this last
don't
play.
want Los Al to make a quick score here because the Gauchos scored in about a minute and a half here. And they're moving pretty quick all the time. This is going to be a penalty. Oh, that's too bad because it was blocked. Unfortunately, there was 12 men on the field for the Gauchos at the point in time when it's kicked, so it's an automatic penalty. Move it back 5 yards.
Well, and the ironic thing is the poor kid for the Gauchos was running up the field and they snapped it too soon.
Yeah, he was hustling as fast as he could.
Oh, Lord.
I think it still would have been called 12 men in the huddle no matter what, so, yeah. But the unfortunate part for Los Al is they blocked the kick and pushed it off to the side, and now the Gauchos are going to get another chance at this thing.
Well, boy, this extra point's going to be important.
Yeah, you always hate to give a kicker a second chance, especially if he's missed one the first time. Although this one, if it was too many men in the huddle, can't remember if this is a 5-yard. Yeah, this is a 5-yard penalty. So this will now be a 25-yard attempted kick. And I tell you what, I don't know if anybody has any confidence in this kicker for the Gauchos. It's up. Oh, that time it's good. Boy, that is just unfortunate. I mean, Los Al makes a great play, blocks a kick, but Gauchos get a do-over, and now they tie the game up. That's just the way it goes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's all back to even again. There you see it with 9:23 left in this contest. Who's going to go home?
Well, Fritz, this is why I'd say I'd like to see Los Al score quick here because I think Narbonne's going to score quick, you know, on a comeback. If they, and what Los Al is going to then have to do is get the ball back with maybe 6 minutes left to go in the game and then play ball control. Don't force yourself into having to score quick when you have very little time left on the clock. Although the one thing I'll say that even though the wind's blowing in their faces, Los Al, I think, has somewhat of an advantage. In the Cadlitz has shown he has 40-yard distance on a still air night, probably 45-yard distance. So if they can get within about 30 yards, the coach may elect to go for a field goal if he's running out of time. Again, another one of these weird pooch kicks, but this time we actually have, it looks like either Jenkins or Richardson upfield. Looks like it was Richardson.
Yep, Richardson on the far side. So good field position for Clark Evans to set up with 9:19 left in week 5.
So you see all the Griffins coming over the sideline, get the instructions from head coach John Barnes.
Ball sits on the 40-yard line.
Yeah, I tell you, I can't understand Narbonne's kickoff philosophy because they don't have the greatest kicker, but they got a 20-mile-an-hour wind behind them, and they've got some really fast guys to go downfield and cover. I just kick away.
Well, they'll have to sort that out, win or lose. Up the middle, the pile just moving.
Griffin's just shoving that pile forward. Looks like they picked up maybe about 4 or 5 yards there.
Again, great line surge.
4 yards in a cloud of dust. Who would
No
have thought
kidding.
that would be the Griffins football? But, you know, again, Fritz, this is one of the things we've seen over the years that, I mean, the coaches are adaptable, the players are adaptable. They take what the other team will give them, and they just run with it all night long.
Ball now on the 43-yard line, 2nd down and 7. Cody Perez got a blocker out in front. Can he get around the corner? Cuts it back in.
No, that's not going to work. I'll tell you what, there is just too much speed on Narbonne to allow that to happen. Number 90, Devin Wallace, the defensive end, just does a great job of containment there.
So a 3rd down and 7 for Narbonne to hold here. That would be a huge defensive stand and then get the ball back the way they've driven down and scored here on the last series. Cadlitz checks in at receiver.
Again, you have Jenkins and Richardson on the right-hand side.
And everybody into the pattern.
Oh, great job by Evans there. Catches Jenkins cutting across the middle. Jenkins does a good job of getting inside on the linebacker and has great position, and Evans just throws a rifle shot to him. Los Al makes first down and moves the ball. They're at the 40-yard line of Narbonne.
Probably one of the more accurate throws of the night for Clark Evans. Right on the money, and that was actually good coverage by the Gauchos there, but just a perfectly thrown ball. Cody Perez. Not a bad little pickup there. Let's call it 2.
2-3 yards. Again, Los Al here is just grinding time. We're at 7:20. But what they're looking for is keep working that line of Narbonne, keep working those linebackers, tire them out. In fact, if you look at Narbonne right now, I see at least 2 new fresh faces in there for them already.
Second down and 8 for the Griffins. 6:58 left here in the fourth quarter.
Oh, that had to be offsides. Wow, there was a big jump by Narbonne there, and nobody called it.
Little delayed
great
handoff,
little draw play there. Cody Perez picks up about 8 yards, very close to the first down.
The run to number 28, Cody Perez, making it 3rd down and 1.
Well, if this is going to be about 3rd and a long one, call it 1.5. My guess is going to be number 5 is going to call his own number here.
Which we really haven't seen him do much tonight.
Yeah, Evans is down under this one.
Third down and 1.
Oh, Evans just goes forward.
Shot out of a cannon.
Yeah. Oh, well, the thing is I mean, the defensive line for Narbonne's playing about 1 yard to 1.5 yard gap, and again, they're relying on their linebackers to try and fill. And I mean, Evans just does a great surge forward, cuts right to the left side of his center, and just bowls forward for about 2.5 yards on that play.
So clock continues to run under 6 minutes. Clark Evans brings him to the line, shotgun, a very familiar formation all night. Castaneda and Cody Perez, they get this to Castaneda, trying to find a lane. Oh, gets tripped up.
Castaneda was trying to break it out, so you can see him. He's hopping around.
Well,
he's upset with himself because literally he was shoved to the ground by one of the Narbonne players, lost a couple yards on that play, but he had a lane on the outside, and he was trying to get to it, but boy, one of those big, strong Narbonne defensive linemen just kind of gave him a shove when he was off balance and pushed him to the ground.
Okay, 5:15 left here in the contest, and we have 2 receivers split out on the near side. Clark Evans going to keep it, runs right into the middle. Wow, this is going to be close. He's not got that.
No, this isn't even close. It was 2nd and 11.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That was maybe one time too many going to the well.
Well, that brings up 3rd down. Now we got 3rd down and 12.
Well, it's pretty obvious what this has got to be.
Now they hit Jenkins coming across the middle. Last time they were facing a 3rd down.
This is where Los Al's O-line's got to give Evans about 3 to 4 seconds to set this play up.
Los Al running the time off the clock, exactly what they wanted to do.
Oh,
and there
this
we
is
have
offsides. Once
well, that'll
again,
help.
Boy, I tell you, 3 times offsides in a game. I mean,
well, especially when they're playing so far off the line.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing off the line, and it's a shotgun call. I mean, it's not like the guy's up under center barking it. It's a shot. Oh, they're calling false start against Los Al. Wow. All right. Well, obviously the referee saw something we didn't see.
Well, it must have been on the far side.
Yeah, which would explain why Narbonne jumped. Maybe a lineman flinched, because I sure didn't see anybody as far as one of the receivers jump.
Well, that'll make it a 3rd down and 17. Here's the benefit is 4:21 left on the clock. They are definitely running this clock down. If Los Alamitos can pick up this 1st down, they will have accomplished what they wanted to do, at least as far as the clock is concerned. Important, possible, game-deciding third down conversion right here.
Lots of time, looking downfield. He's got to throw the ball, and he's wide open. Wide open, cutting to the outside, still on his feet. Touchdown, Los Alamitos.
Wow.
Wow, Jenkins with a great play. Clark Evans with the presence of mind. I thought he was going to pull it down and run it for a second. And I mean, this is one of the things I've talked about. He has to have the patience to throw the ball. He's too good a QB to run it all the time. And at the next level, he's going to have to throw it. And this time he did. He saw Jenkins in an open position downfield, and then Jenkins with a great move on his own eludes two Narbonne defenders to put Los Al ahead with just under 4 minutes to go in the game.
Well, very important extra point here for Catalans.
Good snap, ball's up, it looks like it's straight through. All right, 35-28 with just under 4 minutes left. Now it's up to the Los Al defense. And Fritz, this is going to be an interesting call on this kickoff because the last time Los Al did basically a squib kick into the wind, but that was at the end of the first half where you really didn't have to worry too much about whether you gave up some yardage. Now you're in a situation where Narbonne is going to be in a potential scoring position, and you have to hold them. So I'm going to be interested to see where he aims this ball.
Now, the wind, ironically, has died down a little bit. I don't know if this is the Griffin gods blessing the team because those flags now are as...
Well, they're probably as flat as we've seen them all night. There's still probably a 5 to 10 mile an hour wind blowing into the kicker's face here.
So out come the Griffins. The very dangerous Byron Moore stands on the 5-yard line, anticipating that this may fall a little short of the goal line. So far tonight, when going the other way, Byron Moore has been standing on the goal line.
Now the wind picked up again. So I think they had, we have a delay of game.
Well, let's wait for the call.
Delay a game against Los Alamitos.
Well, that kind of removes that issue. Boy, you know, Ron,
wow, I'll tell you what, Fritz, that's a huge mistake. You cannot have delay a game called on you on a kickoff. I mean, you've got to have the presence of mind to know there's a countdown clock out there, and you've got to look at it and say, all right, I have to move.
And we'll know here momentarily, because if this doesn't get to the end zone, which would be a long shot going into the wind.
No, this is going to be squibbed. Nice kick. This could be potentially still on the ground. It's Los. Los Al can recover it. They may have recovered it. Number 4 for Los Al comes up with it. Oh, my gosh. It wasn't intended to be an onside, and Los Al takes a huge break here with a big bounce on that kick. They caught Narbonne sleeping. Number 4, looks like it's Nick Richardson. The other Richardson.
The other Richardson. And not only did Nick jump on that ball, but he pulled it back and curled up around it.
Oh, he was protecting that all the way. Wow, that is huge. Los Al now with 3 minutes and 50 seconds. The ball at the 31-yard line of Narbonne. And they have the opportunity to run an incredible amount of time off the clock.
Well, turnovers. Got to protect that ball. Got to be smart.
Los Al back in that 2-back set. And Los Al calls timeout. I think there was a player who wasn't on the field. Looks like it might have been Jenkins might have forgot that he was supposed to be on for that play, which can be a little confusing sometimes, especially if you don't expect to be on the field right away.
Well, 3:50 left in this game. 35-28, big turnover on the kickoff.
Oh, wow, that was just huge. I mean, you know, and Los Al was not trying for an onside. They just did not want a big run back, and all of a sudden that ball just took one of those funny little football bounces and kicked way up in the air. And number 34 for Narbonne, their big linebacker, just could not come down with it.
Well, a break for Los Alamitos.
Well,
at this point, though, the Gauchos have 2 timeouts left, and Los Alamitos is going to have to pick up some first downs.
Well, this is an interesting set.
Clark
Evans is just going to run it, tuck that ball away. There we go, picks up about 6 yards on the play.
Well, that does remove the handoff misconnection.
Yeah, but the thing is I'm actually a little more comfortable with Castaneda and Perez carrying the ball because they tuck that in tight. Clark has a tendency to carry it just a little outside his body. He doesn't get that 5 points of contact that they always call for.
Well, and you don't want your quarterback also taking a cheap shot late in the game.
Well, actually, Fritz, I wouldn't be worried about it. Narbonne's played just a great, clean game out here. Evans still running, pushing forward. Looks like he's going to be very close to the first down. Now we have a little chippiness going on out here. All right, there we start seeing a little emotion. Yeah, and the Narbonne players are grabbing their own guy, number 34. The guy who made the misplay on the kickoff is being told by his guys, knock it off. That wasn't smart. And we have a Narbonne player very slow to get up. He's injured. They should have a trainer on the field right now looking after this young man. This guy can't stand. Come on, coaches, get your guys out there. He's injured. Yeah, now they finally have the trainers out there.
Let's see if we can get you a number there.
21, that's
Thomas Gray. Yeah, I didn't see Ron. Did he take a shot?
Yeah, I think he took a pretty hard hit. And the thing is, Gray is one of their key players. I mean, he is a very important part of their defense.
They're looking at the right knee.
Oh, boy, you hope nothing ever happens to somebody. I mean, you want hard play and that. Now, we still have the issue, and the Narbonne players are moving back. They know they've been called for 15 yards unsportsmanlike, so it'll be half the distance goal. In fact, the referees are calling for the yardsticks to be moved up. Ball's now right at the 10.5-yard line. So with 3:10 to go, Los Al will have first down and 10 to go on the 11. There you can see us standing up here in the stands.
Right out with the folk.
Well, and it's a little chilly. These are the nights I'll say I missed the press box.
Yeah, either that or let's pack a few more people in here. I could get a little cozy in here.
Yeah, the one person you didn't see was our statistician who tonight said, oh, it's going to be a great night. It'll be plenty warm. And is sitting here in a silk Hawaiian shirt, freezing to death.
Oh, Lord.
And none of us are offering him a jacket.
Yes, not
There
tonight.
is no honor among this crew.
Every man for himself.
All right. Number 21, Thomas Gray, finally gets out. He's walking slow.
I'll tell you, this defense has been out on this field a long time this game.
Yeah, in fact, they tried to run off the sideline to get a drink of water, but the referees are saying, oh, no, you don't. That's an injury timeout, not an official timeout.
So mark the ball just outside the 10-yard line. 3:10 left in this contest.
Again, Evans keeps the ball moving forward, still moving forward.
Wow, out near the 5-yard line.
Just a tough guy to tackle. Okay, number 34, Tim Tucker comes back in the game. I'm sure the coaches pulled him out. In fact, probably the referees told him he had to go out and sit out of play since the personal foul was called on him. Good move on the referee's part. I mean, if a guy's getting a little upset out there,
yeah,
you know, don't let him get hit with a double personal and end up with an ejection.
Ball on the 7-yard line. Clark Evans right up the middle. Hang on to that ball.
That didn't work. Yeah, that one didn't work. There was about 5 green shirts there that time. But I think the whole purpose of that one was keep running the clock.
Yep.
And in high school ball, there is no 2-minute clock. Now Narbonne calls a timeout.
And really, if you think about how quickly Narbonne has been scoring, would you mark it about a minute and a half on that last drive or their last touchdown drive? It is something that Los Alamitos has to keep in the back of your mind. If you don't score here, of course, you've got the leg of Cadlitz.
Well, Fritz, I'll tell you what. Again, this is where, like the last time, I'd fake the dive in the line, let Clark Evans roll out and pull a guy off a receiver and just quick dump into the end zone and say, hey, walk away with another 7.
Real maybe safe corner type route.
Yep, fade a guy in the corner, roll out hard towards it, and I mean, you're going to force the cornerback. He's got to make a decision. Okay, you got a 6'6", 238-pound guy who can definitely run it in.
Who would just as soon run it in.
Yeah. Or do you pull off of your receiver and try and stop him and realizing that this guy, as soon as he gets near the line of scrimmage, will just flip it over your head. You know, bad position to be in.
Well, 3rd down and 7 for the Griffins. They can get a first down.
Oh, we got false start this time. Somebody moved.
Well, for Los Alamitos, bad timing there.
Yeah.
Now you've just kind of exposed what you were thinking, which...
well, and I saw that Evans was going to start to roll
yeah,
out there.
yes, you did.
Well, again, Los Al not doing some stellar play right here where they have a great opportunity to make this happen. In fact, you got a wholesale change out of the line here. So the coach is going to send in a different play here.
Well, it will be interesting. They're marking this at 3rd down and 12.
Yeah.
If they don't get it, do they bring in Catalyts for the field
I
goal?
think you got to put the points on the board. You're well within this range. Fade route.
Jump ball. And
that's a penalty.
Yeah.
That's going to be a PI. Yes, it is. The player made no attempt to try and see the ball. He blocked it all the way.
Well, penalties on both sides. And, of course, when you've gotten 5 touchdowns in a game, I guess you're going to draw a little attention.
Yep. I tell you what, nice play there. I think that was Richardson who was out there on that play.
It was.
And, I mean, that was a great play on his part to keep making the effort to go for the ball and made it very evident to the referees that there was no attempt to play the ball by the DBs on that play.
Well, 1st down and goal to go, 5-yard line.
Well, this is 12 players on the field, another penalty against Narbonne. I mean, they're just falling apart right now. This will be another half the distance to the goal.
Well, I'll tell you, there was a kid running on the field from the far side at a full sprint.
Oh, no, they already had 11 players on the field, and what they were trying to do was get another lineman in and get one of the DBs out, and nobody picked up on that one. Oh, Narbonne called timeout just before the snap is what they're saying. Yeah, Clark Evans is holding the ball up going, oh, you got to be kidding me.
Timeout, Narbonne.
So Narbonne has now
Well, now watch this. Coach Barnes is walking out because I'm not sure he thinks that.
He says, how could they have called timeout when the ball was snapped?
And that's why Clark Evans was holding that ball up, saying,
Yeah.
why do I have the ball?
Fritz, I'm going to tell you, the one good thing here is Narbonne has now used all their timeouts, and they tend to run the ball. They have not thrown the ball any long routes the whole night long. They've run short routes. They've had a few break open for big yards, but basically they run time off. Now, as we said, we saw them score in about a minute and a half. But in this situation, Los Al with 1st and goal on the 5-yard line, basically all they have to do is run 3 running plays and then put it into the end zone.
Well, actually, Coach Van Gorder pulled Barnes away. Barnes was chewing on that side judge, and you know, last thing you need here is
get an unsportsmanlike on the coach. And I mean, you know, I'm going to tell you, I mean, this is the thing that happens when you have Southern Section come play against City Section. You know, and I'm going to say it happens the same way when City Section comes play Southern Section. You just see some goofy little calls by the referees. Well, Los Al now is doing exactly what they wanted to do. Let that clock run.
Well, and if they give him forward motion, he got across the 5-yard line, probably mark it at the 4.
Right, they're showing a mark at the 4-yard line. And they're very slow getting up before they get the 25-second clock going. So it's going to be about a minute 35. Okay, they just wound it, so it was a minute 39. So Los Al will snap this probably close to a minute 14. Yeah, Coach Barnes talking to Clark Evans there. It's too bad Los Al's not going the other way because that's where the clock is that they could actually see. Okay, 6 seconds left. Los Al's got to get in gear right now. And just in time, Evans now running the ball, still moving forward. Gets down to maybe the 3-yard line this time. And again, very, 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 very slowly. And we'll see here when they go ahead, and they rolled it at 1 minute. So Los Al at about 37 seconds or so will snap the ball.
Big win for Los Alamitos, 2nd.
Yep.
Tough battle.
Well, Fritz, I'm not calling this a win
yet.
yet.
That's a good point. I hear you.
No way, no how. I mean, they're going to, in fact, delay a game here. Wow, they didn't call it. I'm surprised. Evans going to the outside. He's bootlegging it. He's got a lane. He's in. That's it. Now I'll call it a
Yeah.
win. With 27 seconds to go and up by 2 touchdowns, this would take a very bizarre set of circumstances.
And we've got another, looks like Gaucho injured. That would be, let's see, who did they bring in there? That looks, was that Davis?
Yeah, that looks, well, it's hard to tell. It's number 5 or 6. These uniform numbers are really tough. Looks like number 6 for.
Now, this has been a tough night for Narbonne, going both ways.
And I believe that's Dustin Presley, possibly. Well, again, Fritz, this is why I brought it up. When you get late into a game, especially for a team that hasn't had to really have itself tested the whole way, and now they have to go both ways for all 4 quarters, I mean, it's tough to see what that conditioning is going to be like. Good snap, good kick. And the referee saying, no, he missed it. Wow, I thought that was through the uprights. Must have just missed. Okay, 27 seconds left. Los Alamitos up by 13 seconds. I would expect to definitely see the ball on the ground again. Well, Fritz, this has been a great game. I mean, this really has. Just good play.
Really, the last 2 weeks, what a great warm-up for Los Alamitos as they go into a tough Sunset League. They'll have Marina next week. And yet, you know, the first 3 games, I don't know, Los Alamitos didn't look like the normal team we're used to, but you maybe play to the level of your opponent.
Level opponent, or I would say it's if you were trying to compare them to a V8 engine, they were running on 6 cylinders.
Right.
You know, it was like they were sputtering. I mean, you weren't seeing anything bad, but you just weren't seeing the consistency that you expected, that there would be the consistent, excellent play. I mean, you'd see flashes of it, and you knew it was there. But I think tonight, last week they started to put it together. I think tonight you saw this is what the Griffins are really capable of. Again, another great kick. Okay, they're cutting cross field. Still running. Los Al with good pursuit. And they take him out just across the 50-yard line. Maybe just short.
So good special teams. Narbonne hustling on out to get on the ball.
Well, but the thing is they have no timeouts left, 18 seconds. I mean, Los Al's going to rush 3 here and basically hold about 8 guys back.
First down and 10 on the 48.
In fact, you can't see it on TV, but Los Al's holding 3 guys deep right now. Big snap over the middle. Uh-oh, still on his feet, still running.
And upended. Jenkins with the tackle. And Moten actually took
Number
a shot.
3. Let's see, that was Byron Moore running that ball downfield.
7 seconds left on the clock. And boy, that insurance touchdown by Los Alamitos, very important.
Oh, absolutely, you knew it. But you know, this is Los Al's playing, hey, you know what? You're going to burn the time off. You may get a TD, but I tell you what, when you do the kickoff, that time's gone. We've got the ball.
Moten, no rush at all. Los Alamitos right on it.
And
game
that's
over.
a game. Game over. That's the thing. They knew they could give the time up. I mean, that's the old bend but don't break, and that was a perfect time to do it. Well, Fritz, I'll tell you what a game. Great effort by Los Al. I'll say great effort by Narbonne. Good, hard-played game both sides. Griffins really showed a lot on offense and defense tonight. Great running attack. Narbonne, wow, what a team. I mean, just incredible team speed out there. And, you know, you couldn't have asked for a better game on a Friday night. See Los Al come out here, play a big top City League team, come out with a great win and get ready to run into the Sunset League.
41-28, the final score. Next week for Los Alamitos, it is going to be Marina. Let's get those stats out of the way, Ron.
Give me a second. Keep talking for a second, Fritz. Got to put the glasses on.
Sunset League play starts next week, and there will be homecoming. All set?
Yep. All right, Narbonne. Moten was 13 for 18 for 155 yards total. Narbonne had, again, about 100 yards rush. Oh, well, no, more rushing than that, about 150 yards rushing, so about 307 yards total. Los Al, Evans, 10 for 17 for 223 total yards, 4 touchdown passes on that. And then he had 73 rushing yards. And Perez, 14 carries for 92 yards. Also got to mention Paul Richardson, 4 touchdown catches Daryl Jenkins, 1 touchdown catch. Total offense for Los Al, 455 yards. Great game by the Griffins, Fritz.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been week 5. Los Alamitos, a perfect record as they start Sunset League play next week. Ron, any surprises tonight, things that the Griffins need to be aware of working on this next week?
No, I think they executed great. You know, one of the other good things for next week, I was talking to the coaches before the game. Chris Eaton, the strongest offensive lineman on the team, will be back next week. He actually dressed out tonight, so he's going to be back and has been fighting off a little bit of a knee injury. So we're going to go downfield.
Well, we've got
just a second here. We got Keith Jones, a couple receivers down there, guys that know what they're doing. Well, they're going to go over. We'll talk for a second before Keith gets there because Griffin's got to do a little bit of their victory award celebration, and both the guys want to do it.
Yeah, Keith's working hard down there. He had Richardson with all of his touchdowns tonight, and Jenkins.
Yep.
And then they got away from him.
Thing I want to point out, though, is that Los Al will be 100% healthy when they come out to play next week starting Sunset League, and that'll be the first time this year they've been 100% healthy. So that's a big gain for them, but I'll tell you what, they executed tonight, Fritz.
Well, let's see if Keith can get them back.
Yeah, they're over being congratulated by their family, so here they come over there. Okay, we're going to head down right now to Keith Jones. He's got Paul Richardson with him, and then hopefully he gets Daryl Jenkins back over there.
Daryl over here, Paul right here. You good to go? Okay, I'm standing here with Los Al's own Twin Towers, Daryl Jenkins and Paul Richardson. What a game. I'm going to start with you, Daryl. Now, listen, a lot of talk this week about how you guys were not going to be outmanned, how you were going up against a faster team. What were your thoughts going into this game?
Our thoughts? Dave's going to play us man. We got the best receivers in the league. We're going to go deep on them. We're going to catch the ball, and we're going to win the game.
Now, when you start to hear about their speed, does that start to affect the way that you approach your patterns?
No, it doesn't affect us at all. We're just as fast as them.
Okay, now you came out here, you scored 2 touchdowns tonight, and that's pretty impressive. Now, did you think he was going to just sit back and let that happen? Over here, we got 3 touchdowns. Man, how does that feel?
Feel great, man. Our line was blocking, quarterback was letting it go, and we just made it happen.
Okay, hey, now, towards the end there, we saw what looked like to be a broken play. You kept at it. When you see your quarterback struggling like that, how do you make sure that you stay in the play?
I know that our quarterback is strong, and as long as we keep our feet moving, he go keep his feet moving, and he saw us deep, and he let it go, and we scored.
Hey, guys, great play by both of you. I'm sure we're not done this season. Look forward to some more great football. Congratulations.
Well, I'll tell you what, Fritz, Paul Richardson said exactly. Our quarterback is strong. As long as we see his feet moving, we're going to keep moving.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up week 5 from Narbonne High School. The final score, 41-28, Los Alamitos over the Gauchos. For Keith Jones, Ron Cluey, I am Fritz Pollard. Thank you very much for watching exciting high school football here on LA TV. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Good night.
First time I saw my house, I couldn't believe this had happened. Everything was moldy and disgusting. A lot of things have disappeared. Everything's getting bulldozed down. Our school was made into like a shelter. People around the parish didn't have transportation or couldn't really get out. They went there for last resort. Some people, they were very sick. Some people died in there. Since the storm, our family got a trailer. Classrooms are packed. One of my classes has 62 kids in it. I was very excited knowing that my school was opened again. It was like my second home. I love it there.
If I could reach the star, pour one down for you, shine it on your heart, so you could see the truth, that I can change the world. I would be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good. If I could, I'd change the world. If I could, I'd change the world.
I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be